So this is our impromptu not a cast. We're going to call this 400.5.
Yeah.
According to Sleepy. He doesn't want to call it.
Well, the humble...
There we go. Nice opening. Nice out. There we go.
Our normal, humble narrator is in paradise right now, I guess you could say.
I mean, as close to paradise as I think one can get.
Yeah. With his lady.
With his wife.
I'm making
doing
a fucking
good.
huge
Dr.
mess of
Waters.
There was no need to clarify.
Okay. Lady, when I with you. Yep, they went. There's Maliki Liki is the way to say Merry Christmas in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So they're having a good time down there. Probably posting good pictures on the Facebooks and everything like that. We just sent him a text to see if maybe he wants to do a phone in to our Not a Cast. Location tonight is down in Dan's basement. Dan KROMKE has been willing to host for us tonight. And let me tell you, we are in the dungeon of evil bourbons, of good bourbons.
How many bottles do you think are down here?
I haven't had a chance to even get more than I can count on all my fingers, toes.
Table over there that's covered.
On all of our fingers and toes.
You haven't been in the cellar in the back yet.
The bourbon cellar.
There's even more?
The bourbon and port cellar.
So, what do you estimate? How many bottles do you have down here? Like, if this place ever caught on fire, you'd be investigated.
I don't know. There
accelerants.
might be 30. I haven't counted them.
That's it. There's 30 on that table.
No, there's not 30.
There's 30 right there.
Oh, what are you talking about?
There's 30 there and 30 there and 30. I guess that's bourbon math for you.
Yeah, Dan was
Yeah,
an
about
engineer, but he
30,
didn't
30.
do well with math.
How much did you pay for that 30? How much did you pay for that 30? 30. Are you thirsty? 30.
30.
But anyway, so let's
I've got 30 beers in the fridge, too.
That's true.
That's true, yeah.
I think I also have about 30 bottles of port in the cellar.
I might be able to try. I want to try a port maybe after this.
Yeah, that sounds like something you guys should do.
We're getting salubrious, as Phil would say. We will be very salubrious.
Well, we had to do this. Why we have to do this? Because Nick's in town.
Who?
Yeah.
You.
So not getting together was not an option. So this was a non-optional podcast.
Right. Apparently,
Mandatory.
anytime I come into town for a holiday or a funeral or whatever, we have to record 2 hours, and it's like a snapshot in time.
Well, good luck getting 2 hours out of this shit show, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I think it's better to leave them wanting more.
For sure.
So to my left.
Wait. Oh, that's your right. Oh, you're left. Oh, Steve. Me. Sleepy.
And to his left.
Dan KROMKE.
And to his left, of course.
Nick DeVito. I'm sorry, I'm answering. Phil sent me a photo, and he does not look amused. I don't know exactly what this means, but
Well, we are on a radio program.
He might be
he's on a boat.
a couple sheets to the wind and looking pale, maybe.
Yeah. I feel like he is preoccupied and will not be able to attend the podcast.
I like how Mary's throwing up the
Yeah.
She's doing well.
Here's something weird to
They
talk
might be
about
on a rum
motorcycle-wise. Take a
yeah.
look at this picture.
Yeah, what's that?
I'm gonna
That's a
pass
speedometer.
around.
Yep.
Speedometer. Look at the miles per gallon. Down towards the
Okay,
bottom.
61.6. That's good.
Who's getting 61.6 miles to the gallon?
That's on my Triumph Tiger 660.
Wow.
What?
I filled it up and reset it, and I rode about 15 miles, just kind of going real easy. Not going easy, but not riding like I usually do.
You're doing the at 30 miles per hour.
I was going a lot of 40, a lot of stop and go. I rode up through Lakewood, man.
Well,
Rode the parkway, and then I rode up through Lakewood. I stopped and took a picture of it, and that's just not going super easy, but not going as hard as I always do.
Yeah, you must be disappointed in that kind of poor gas mileage.
Yeah, geez.
Is that a single or a twin? That's a twin.
Triple.
Triple.
It's a triple nipple.
Yep.
Okay, never mind.
And I usually get 55.
Yeah.
But I just one day I wanted to see how good can it be.
Is that like a car? When does it reset? When you pop the tanker? Does it know when to reset?
Oh, no, I reset the odometer when I filled up because I ride kind of aggressively. I mean,
well, you're no slouch. So speaking of slouches,
Hold on, because Phil sent me a video. It appears.
uh-oh.
Do you want me to play this video?
Yeah, why not? I mean, we have no rules.
Okay, I don't know.
Does
This
Phil
is no
want us to
rules.
play the video?
This is no rules. Just
I don't know if this is
podcast.
even actually intended to be a video, if it's accidental. No, it's only like a half a second long.
A blurb.
Yep, it's a
was-
blurb. They're clearly on a boat and they are moving.
It was a picture.
quite quickly.
It was a picture that turned into a video accidental.
Yeah, honestly, that's the best kind of picture because it's like a three-dimensional picture.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, it's playing.
Oh yeah.
They are on a boat with lots of people.
Man, I don't see any scuba gear.
Yep. What is up with that scowl, Phil?
Well, I think it's sort of squinting to see the phone kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah, I guess
let's
so.
not fault him for that.
All right.
Yeah, and I think the mouth open was kind of like, huh? I mean, you're in the sunlight trying to see
Right.
your phone. It's not
Yeah,
going to be.
they're on a boat. I feel like they're not going to call into the podcast.
Well, that's okay.
Yep. We lost Smith
Let
and we
them have
lost
their
Grumpy
fun.
Sewer Guy to debauchery or something. I think.
Yeah, he just wasn't feeling right, and he had some health problems. He had a biopsy on his leg that was bothering him. They bowed out.
Okay. But it is a couple days from Christmas because this will drop after the holiday.
Yeah, we're
Or in the
recording
middle
here.
of Hanukkah if you celebrate Hanukkah. Or when's Kwanzaa?
Harmonica.
Festivus is today, right?
I don't know.
When's Festivus?
For the rest of us.
For the rest of us.
I think
Is it
it's
like
the 23rd.
23rd or 4th?
Yeah, I think it's the 23rd.
What's the day?
Are we going to have a
You have to air it of the grievances.
Today's
feats
the
of
22nd.
strength? Let's have feats of strength.
I got an aluminum pole in the garage. I just got to take the American flag off it.
Interesting. You should mention feats of strength. I have an aluminum pole right now. So we'll talk a little bit more about the spirits that we're having.
Mm-hmm.
So this bottle that we just happen to be talking about, what's the best, what's the good stuff around here.
Careful of the squall.
And Dan mentioned, said go up there on the top shelf, back behind everything else, and grab that bottle with the cork and the wax on it. And what does he pull down? But it's a bottle of Willett's
Willet
family single
Estate.
barrel family estate.
Will it what?
Bourbon.
It sure will. But yeah, so this was 8-1. Now what does that mean? That's just the number of the bottle. It's
This
not
is a
date.
whiskey that was probably bottled 15 or 20 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
2004.
9 years old.
There is but a nip left. There is but a nip
Yeah, very
left.
little.
But we had a little sip of it, and I was just like, well, please just cover the ice cube. I'm not worth real good bourbon. But it was very interesting. It, that's the good stuff.
As Dan said, very pungent.
Yeah. It was everything that bourbon is times 2 or 3. But in a good way. But not like make you want to cringe.
Yeah.
Right.
Like a good smooth
It's like
bourbon.
it doesn't
really good
it doesn't
smooth.
burn 3 times as much. It probably only burns less than a normal.
But the flavor, is just like it was
Tons of flavor. Yeah.
delicious. So I had a sip of that. We had a sip of that. We're trying not to kill that. We're going to let Dan finish that bottle, maybe. And then Nick and I have moved on to the Russell Reserve, a Kentucky straight bourbon.
10-year-old.
A 10-year only.
Oh, that's
10
what we
years
said. Yeah.
No, they make a 5-year.
Well, it was 10-year-old when they bottled it. Now we don't know how many years old it is. It might be a couple more years old.
That's nice. I'm enjoying a 3-day-old from Northern California.
Nice.
Vaporizer.
Yeah.
You've been vaporizing every day because you're on vacation.
Hell yeah.
I really like the recording studio that we have here. It's basically a puck on top of several layers of...
Yeah, 4 layers of
That was 13
Seafoam?
hours of work today. I did
So-
calculations.
to cut that out.
Yeah.
Did you make the coaster underneath it also?
Did you 3D print the whole stand and everything?
No.
Well,
Did you solder up all the circuits?
Does it work?
The tripod underneath it's mine.
The tripod is Dan's. I had a bigger tripod
Okay.
because I didn't know it was going to be on here. No, that was my brother-in-law worked at a carbon fiber place, so that's a coaster that I put glue on that my wife's going to get mad
Is that
about.
carbon fiber?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
They made carbon fiber brakes there for race
So
cars.
it's 4 layers of Joanne Fabrics seat foam
Yep.
on top, cut into little pucks.
Yep.
On top of a 5mm layer of what looks like carbon fiber coaster on a tripod, which is apparently Dan's.
Yeah.
And
It's helping a little
Is it
bit.
working?
It's separating it, unless you guys slam your things on the table. Then
We can test this.
no, that definitely comes through. Yeah.
So we're looking for anybody who has some liquid piston knowledge. We really want to. We're excited about the liquid
right.
piston engine technology.
We were talking about that earlier.
And we would love if somebody would write into us about liquid piston. No, we wouldn't really.
I honestly, I would like to know. Like, I've heard enough about it. It seems like snake oil, but it might not.
Well, they
To me, it's just a rotary engine, and they've managed to instead of having it be a 1 out of 3 stroke, it's a 3 out of 3 stroke, and
You're right. It's got three separate combustion chambers.
they've maybe perfected or improved slightly on a rotary engine.
I don't know if it has the or equivalent problems of the Wangle as like the Apex seals or something like that. But
I can't see how it wouldn't. It's almost to me it looks like it's just a
I don't know. But
supercharged version of a Wankel motor.
I did see a video that they put it in a go-kart, a racing go-kart, and they were driving around the parking lot, and it looked pretty cool.
Did it go super fast?
It did go super fast.
Well, okay.
I mean, the engine is only like how big? This big?
Tiny.
Yeah, smaller than a Harbor Freight 212. That would normally go into a cart of that size.
Interesting.
And it was propelling it just the same as far as I could tell.
But there's got to be a reason that people aren't jumping on this thing, because I've seen these ads now for a few years.
I wonder if they have any
maybe EPA shit.
Well, I would imagine they have some contracts with like maybe the Department of Defense or something like that.
Well,
for
here's the
drones
thing,
and-
though. I mean, if it's anything like a rotary engine, it has its problems. Most rotary engines really like to perform at a certain RPM, they don't really like. They're better off in generators. It was a
tend to
miracle.
run
That,
really
it was a
hot.
miracle that they were able to build a motorcycle and the RX-7, which they probably had to go through a lot. To be
Honestly,
able to,
that's maybe the ideal sort of situation to put a liquid piston is in a generator for like an extended range for
Right.
like a hybrid or something like that.
Yeah, but it's funny though. When I used to street race down in Cleveland, though, all the Puerto Rican dudes would bring their RX-7s, and they'd have those things banging at 22,000 RPMs or something.
they spin really well.
Yeah.
But they don't really like to do the low down stuff like idle and go
Yeah.
like that.
They were awesome, dude. When they had those built ones, because it'd be like, oh, such a cool noise.
There's
man.
an article in the current AMA magazine about the Suzuki RE5.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why there's only that they didn't make a whole lot of them because yes, it was a study. It can be done, but it doesn't beat anything. It's not better.
Yeah. The weight was there. Everything was there. Didn't really do anything.
But maybe the liquid piston will take off. I actually was just kind of being funny about bringing up the liquid piston topic.
And here we are.
Well,
Not
so
funny.
I sent you guys that thing. Did you see that the Moto Moroni Escape
Yeah.
is going to be coming to the States?
Moto Moroni or
I'll
Moto
believe it.
Morini?
Motor Marine.
I'll believe it when I see
Okay,
it.
so like the same Moto Morini that made the 5.5.
What's the 5.5?
Look up Moto Morini 5.5.
Because I was under the impression. Well, Motor Marini kind of.
I mean, that's an
It
old
kinda-
Italian motorcycle.
Well, that's what it is. So it's an Italian company, and they bought the name and they bought the company.
So it's like Benelli.
But then they're manufacturing it in.
Okay, so
Somewhere.
when you talk about the Benelli has the one V-twin 250 or whatever, or 500.
Right.
I forget the name of it. That's what I said about it, that it looks like a Moto Morini 5.5.
Is it 5.5 or?
No, it is 5.1/2.
Oh. Interesting. Like a Fiat X19. There's
I'm
a
looking,
slash
I'm
in
It was a cool little bike. I've never
Okay.
seen one in the wild.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's kind of 80s looking, very 80s. Yeah.
They're usually like orange and white and black.
That thing, whatever that is.
That kind of looks like a V-twin.
Yeah.
That is a Moto Morini. And does it have 5.5 on the number plate?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a Moto Morini 5.5.
Okay. Well, the company's back, and they have this thing. Supposedly, it's been proven it's a pretty good bike. It's a 550cc adventure bike.
5.5.
Yeah. I think it was 5.5. Let me just see. Let me double check. I don't want to be wrong. No, 650. Sorry.
Oh, 6.5.
But it's going to weigh under 500 pounds, 480 some pounds.
Is it a V-twin or a single?
It looks like it's a at least a twin, but I don't see it being well, I don't think it's a V-twin. What do you think? I can't tell from that picture.
Well, it looks like an Africa twin at
It
first.
does.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like a sexier Africa twin.
Well, are there specifications for this thing?
You can look them up. There's like it's
What
like
the
60,
specifications?
65 foot-pounds of torque, 70 horsepower.
So the Morini X Cape, X-Cape, 650.
Yeah.
Huh.
But the interesting thing is, it should be around 6,800 US.
Super cheap.
Yeah.
And it does very much steal its stylings from a Africa twin, I think.
Oh, definitely.
I
Yeah.
mean,
It's got
it
the
looks
kiss
nice.
of an Africa twin on it, definitely.
So where is this manufactured? What do you think? China?
In China.
Definitely China.
But it's definitely made
Italian designed.
but I think it's made at like CF Moto or something, like a legit actual place.
CF Moto is definitely coming up in the world. I saw
Johnny
it was
K sells them now, like straight up CF Moto bikes, which I thought was interesting.
I mean, hey, I don't know. Maybe that's the way of the world. Maybe that's China's breakthrough. They've actually come up in quality enough to become an acceptable, viable brand in America.
Well, I mean, they make a lot of the other brands.
I'm not saying,
Yeah.
and probably what they're selling is just the same thing they made for somebody else,
Right,
only under the CF Moto brand.
right.
It's kind of nice when you can, bring in a contract to make a motorcycle and then turn around and say, you know what, we're going to make that same bike that you've given us all the specifications for ourselves and sell it under our name.
Yeah.
That's got to be a heck of a leg up on your
But don't you
competition.
think, though, like places like BMW and KTM and stuff are smart enough that, like,
Well, they are.
I'm sure they pre-negotiated that after so many years.
And I don't understand the legal ramifications of
Well, China doesn't
that,
recognize
but-
other countries' intelligent or intellectual
That's true,
property.
Yeah, the patent law does not apply.
Yeah, because they don't. It's like everybody goes to church and they don't, so they don't care what you say. It's like, whatever.
I don't go to church.
Well, me neither. But John's like, I do. I'm a good guy.
Have not been to church in a while. And I would like to get to church, but
How was that? Actually, I was for Hoff's wedding.
there you go. Yeah, a little churching goes on. I don't mind. I go to church just for the story. You know what I mean? It's an hour where I can think about my life, and I try not to get too much into the Jesus and God thing.
Yeah.
I try to just listen to the, you should do the right thing, and take the best part of it, and that's what I.
No, that's
walk away
sort of cool, totally cool. And I have a similar thing where I take an hour every day and I go into my garage and I wonder about what the hell I'm going to work on, and I never actually work on anything. So
There you go. Same as me in church. I say, you know what? That's what I should do with my
Hey,
life.
rearranging your tools is working.
I used to go.
Hey, cleaning out the garage is a big thing, because that's half the battle, is being able to have some room to work on something.
sure.
My last memories is church.
Hey, I already used the wrench set that Hoff gave us.
I left mine at the shop. I think. Hopefully I can get that back. Hopefully I didn't
That's
leave it.
super useful.
I set it on
That
the
thing's got
outside.
some. It's
when we were
got some
smoking
flex
cigarettes.
to it. The way it's made, but there's an extension, and the ratchet and the socket all have just a little bit of flex,
little bit of
so you
wobble.
can kind of get around a few corners with
What's
it.
it made of? Is it
It's just
plastic?
it's a no.
Chinesium.
It's,
It's metal.
no, I mean
Chinesium.
the joints where
They're like wobble joints.
Right,
They're not.
wobble
they're not
joints,
super
but
tight.
they're not the big wobble joint, just a slight wobble. It's a Crescent brand.
They'll give you a couple. They'll give you
socket
10
set.
degrees one way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
not too bad. Yeah, that thing worked out.
That
thing
was very
cool.
generous of him.
It was.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to readjust the skids on the snowblower.
Oh,
And
everybody's
I'm like,
tuning
oh
up
my
their
God, they're
snowblower.
completely worn off. I'm like, why did they make them out of plastic? What a fucking stupid idea.
You flip them over then. Because
And I
they're
flipped them over, but you know what? I adjusted them last year, and it wore off down to the metal again in one use.
Yeah.
So I'm ordering some
What kind
metal,
of snowboard
some
do you
metal skids.
What kind of snowboard do you have?
It's a Husky.
Husky.
Husqvarna.
Or Husqvarna, yeah.
Dude, my curve one
Who's
started
Husqvarna?
right the fuck up, man.
What's that?
So like all those people were like, I maybe it was on a different thing on Facebook or something, but all these people were bitching about, oh, that the fucking 100% gas doesn't work. You still have to add stable. You still have to all this. And I was like, no, if you actually run the 100% gas into the carb, drain the bowl, leave it, it fucking starts. For instance, my snowblower, I haven't touched it in a year. Two pulls and that fucker started right up. I was so happy.
Yeah.
I had a and I live in North Carolina now. I kind of miss snowblowers. which is
can
kind
come
of
and do
which is
that.
a weird.
Come on
It's
over
a
to
weird.
my house
Well,
tomorrow
no.
morning.
I don't
You
miss.
mean-
I don't miss snow blowing. I miss
You
snow
can come
blowers.
blow my place all day long.
Wait, so let's talk about that. That's how hardcore we are for you guys, the listeners. We are.
All you
at the-
people out in California and in tropical climes.
have no idea. We are on the precipice. What was the word?
The precipice.
The precipice. Precipice.
Yes.
Yeah, so
The precipice of death.
Yes,
the
we are.
precipice of death.
In exactly 4 or 5 hours.
at midnight tonight, it's
will
supposed
rain.
to transition from rain to snow.
And
we're
drop like
supposed to-
50 degrees.
Yeah, it's gonna
We're
crazy
supposed
cold.
to possibly have a bomb cyclone blizzard
Yeah.
here in northeast Ohio and through most of the north.
Yeah,
We're
they're
fine.
getting,
If
they're
it's-
getting it in South Carolina too.
We're
That's
at-
why I'm here and not in
We
South
went from a
Carolina.
balmy 45 degrees and it's supposed to hit like 0 or negative numbers.
Negative numbers. It would suck if it started and we all got stuck in Dan's basement
Oh
for the next few
no!
days.
Oh no!
Hey, I only have like 10 years worth of provisions if it's just me and Diane.
We were in Giant Eagle a couple. I was in Giant Eagle a couple hours ago, and the lady at the self checkout carded me for when I bought this beer, and she was like, "You're from North Carolina?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "What the hell are you doing here?" I was like, "Dude, I don't know."
If I had any other choice, believe me.
You know what? They're going to have temperatures down there
Yeah.
of like 5 degrees.
Yeah, so we were
You want to
talking-
be here where stuff is made for that,
That's
not
true.
down there.
That's true.
Blown away. Coming down 150th, Cleveland had actually started salting the intersections.
Yeah, all the
We're
roads
getting
up
ahead
on
of
me were
this thing.
salted. But Nick, do you
I mean, I don't love salt, but I'm impressed that they actually
They
did
did.
something.
do you have insulation in your walls and stuff down there? Or is
Well,
that
there's
something?
some, yeah.
But is it like there's?
I mean, right now we have our temperature set to like 50 degrees or something like that because we're not home. But I mean, yeah, there's insulation in the walls, and I mean they build houses the same way down there as they do up here.
For cooling, I mean, it's
Right.
just as important
Right.
to have insulation if you want to
Yeah,
keep your
you're
house
right.
cool. So.
But they definitely have different kind of windows. Like the windows in the south are way different. Like they usually don't have triple pane. and
They're
all
probably
this.
more, well, they're thermopane. They want it. They don't want
And
it
I've
to-
seen when I used to live in Texas, and I've seen a lot of houses actually had this like real dark coating on the outside, almost like window tint, that really stops the light from coming in.
Yeah, that shit'll burn stuff, man. You ever see like the grass burn next to like a
Yeah.
shiny thing?
Well, all you got to do is go and look on Craigslist or Marketplace at like old cars down in Phoenix and that area in the desert. I mean, the sun just burns the paint right off the vehicle over the years.
But it's so weird. I think we talked about this a couple of casts ago, but it's so weird when you see those cars like that out in the desert that have exposed metal and there's absolutely no rust. And
Right.
It's just like, as a dude from Ohio, you're like, my brain doesn't work
That's
like that.
that's something that I've noticed because on my car I have a 2020 Hyundai Veloster N, and the paint is a known issue with Hyundais of that era. So you'll see a lot of maybe 2 or 3 year old Hyundais.
I know someone who paints cars.
Wow. There's a lot of 2 or 3 year old Hyundais that have like
I know.
the top strip before the hood. The front bumper area is just totally, the paint is just flaking off. And,
My Kia's roach,
Is it?
right above the windshield, it's just peeling off.
Yeah.
And the front of the hood is, I mean, they've had issues.
Same thing.
It
but-
was a recall.
Well, there hasn't been a recall on my car yet, but mine hasn't gotten that bad. But eventually, I think it probably will. But I guess what I'm getting at is in North Carolina, I've seen a lot of Hyundais of that sort of age range
Ilk.
that just have just bare metal, like for like a
Yeah.
12-inch square patch of bare metal,
Yeah.
and nothing, no rust,
Right,
no
rust.
anything.
Yeah.
There's no salt on the road. There's
I think I'm going to go tape mine off and blast it with some Rust-Oleum.
Yeah.
White,
Well, you know-
appliance white.
And this, I found this interesting. So there's a show on
I
Netflix.
find you interesting.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, I find you. All right. But there's a show on Netflix, and it's about these guys that rescue cars up in British Columbia because like when they were building the highways, all these 50s and 60s cars were up there and they got stuck.
Yeah.
So like it's 50 years later, 60 years later, and because there's no salt, these cars have been laying in swamps for 50 years, no rust. Like like the leather's gone on the seats, the tires are dry rotted, but the metal just sitting.
It's interesting. They've pulled German tanks out of Russian bogs.
Yeah.
And they pull them out, and at first they look like shit, but they start hosing them off, and they're like, "Oh, the paint's still on it. Oh,
Yeah.
There's the sign. Oh, they hose the thing down, and it looks like because it's been underwater. Okay, fucking sound guy. Really? But it's been underwater, no oxygen, no light, no anything, and they've gotten them to run and stuff like that. Like, it's a proposition. Dan's lighting a match to try to burn up the fart fumes.
Can you imagine if the Burma Spitfires, the Spitfires that were buried in crates for the past 80 or so years, or if they are down there somewhere, it's like if somebody digs those up, they're going to be in.
Well, I've also often, like the whole salvage thing in the bottom of the ocean. What's laying at the bottom of the ocean?
Oh, yeah.
Things that were, just look how many ships were sunk during the war, planes that went down, stuff like that. It's like crazy.
Dude, Discovery Plus has all these shows about all these treasure hunters and shit, and it's like, it's pretty fascinating. Like, some of these guys...
We're not going to talk about a motorcycle, are we?
No.
Good. We already kind of...
We already did. Well, we did. We already talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it. We got it out of the way. But
I was telling Dan earlier, I rode very little this year, so we don't have a lot to talk about.
I'm ready to try a good port anytime you're ready, Dan.
Okay. So how many miles is not very many?
Well, I rode a little bit in the early spring because in North Carolina there's not a lot of snow to get in the way of riding. So I probably rode in January. I probably rode a little bit in February. In March, we had our Pisgah pilgrimage in near Asheboro, North Carolina, the Pisgah National Forest.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably the most riding in a given period of time that I did.
Well, I know you've met up with some scooter people down there. I met them when we were at the band camp.
Yep, band camp. Yep.
One guy borrowed my car for a few hours.
That's true. That's true.
Little breakdown.
Yeah, I've been meeting up with the local scooter club, the Incriminators. However, I haven't really had a running scooter in the entire time that I've been down there. It's ran for maybe a week at a time, but
but you've been trying though. You tore it apart. You
just recently, just a couple weeks ago, I rebuilt it, and this time's different. This time's good. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
You're not committing to running the hair scrambles again.
I'm not committing to it, but I'd like to.
You're not saying no.
No, I'm not saying no.
But you're not saying yes.
But I'm not saying yes. No, honestly, I'll probably sign up again.
But you'll have some time. You could actually ride it now for a little bit before you have to.
I've got some time. Well, honestly, it's December, so I could buy a Honda XL200 for between now and then.
I'm trying to find like a 70.
If I could find an XL200, that would be the most amazing thing on the planet because I've never heard of an XL200.
Oh shit! I meant XL250 or 350 was the other one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the singles. Yeah.
I would buy an XL200 if I could.
All right. You know what?
That was the rare unreleased model, man.
There was an XR200 that had two carburetors.
Did you forget who you're talking to?
The Honda Whisperer.
Did you see John's new channel, The Cock Whisperer?
I'm more of a numbers guy. I'm waiting for a number.
Well,
there was seriously never an XL200?
I don't think there's XL175. Maybe an XL185?
There was an XL185 because I have the shocks from it on my CT.
XR200?
Yeah.
Lots of XR200s.
A friend of mine had an XR200, the dual, what were those called? They had the two carburetors, but they only opened one opened all the way, and then the other one started.
Oh, so it was a twin carb 200?
Twin carb. I've 200.
Seen twin carb.
84 was the only year for
250s and 350s.
I think it was definitely a 200. Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. But yeah, so basically.
Oh shit, Phil's calling. Do you want me to answer?
Yes, hell yeah. Put him on speaker.
Oh shit. Hey Phil, can you hear us?
Hey buddy. I can hear you.
Oh nice.
Holy shit.
I'll hold it up.
I thought you were on a boat.
I was just minutes ago I was on a boat. I'm now on the shore.
Wow.
So this is a special
Land ho!
The man himself, Phil?
Yeah, you know what? I had some rum that was on a boat, and it was, I could taste the difference.
See?
Boat rum.
Boat rum, yeah, it made no difference. It was still $12 a bottle. But
Phil, it's a good thing that you called because we were getting into the intricacies of like mid '80s XR200s. So.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Nick tried to bring up a top 10 list. It was
What a
terrible.
rabbit hole. Okay, would anyone like to guess what the most common two-wheel vehicle that I have seen here in Western Maui? So all the areas like around Lahaina and Kaanapali.
A Honda Metropolitan.
Okay, that is number 2, and that is a strong number 2. There is one that is more frequent.
Suzuki DR200 SE.
No, not a. No, it is.
A Honda Navi.
There it goes.
Oh,
Did you hear it?
What?
It is the lonely cry of the American middle-aged white man on a Harley Davidson.
Oh my God.
Really?
Yes. There are a lot of people who have timeshares here, and a lot of the people that have timeshares here. So outside of the obvious, you don't need a license, 49cc, either Honda Metropolitan or Sim, SYM, small displacement 49cc scooter. Sim definitely has a corner of the market. Very few buddies, but they are represented. Outside of that, it is absolutely positively the Street Glide. The club style bike driven by the 58 to 64-year-old white guy that's had a timeshare here so long he calls himself a local.
So, did you guys actually jokingly sit through that, or was that just a joke?
No, that was a joke.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. That was a chopped and dropped ruckus. 50. That's what that was. But no, that was a joke because on Saturday and Sunday, there's a massive storm that blew through here. I mean, a crazy storm, a lot of trees down, that kind of thing. So everything was shut off. I mean, all the plans we had made for snorkeling on Monday, everything got canceled. Everything got shut down. For 2 days, this place was locked down. But the woman that works at the Boss Frogs, where you rent all the fun stuff, she's like, well, if you want to make $200, you can go down to this place and listen to a timeshare pitch, and they'll literally give you $200. And I was like, oh my God, the sheer fact that it's gone from, we might could give you a ceremonial cuckoo clock or something, to $200 cash tells you how excruciating the pitch has got to be for the timeshare.
Oh. That's crazy.
Yeah. But that was a real thing that was offered to us. So we go, it's right, you should just go and get a pitch for the timeshare. $200 in your pocket. Yep. Okay.
Wow.
But it has been, since those first 2 days, it has been the definition of epic here. I mean, if you can think of an electric powered one wheel vehicle, it is here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Whether it's a pint or a stand up one wheel kind of thing, they're here. This is where money goes to get spent. So,
wow. What was your favorite spot so far? Anything stand out?
Well, yeah. So far, we've been very lucky because we're in this neighborhood called Honokawai, which is north of Lahaina and north of Kaanapali. Those are the two money, get wallet out places, and we're kind of north of that. And so the place we're in is very, very chilled out, very mellow. So there's not any tourist activity up there. It's just like very, very quiet. So it's great. And but a lot of the stuff still launches from Lahaina, and if you're going to do a boat trip or something, it's probably going to be from here or from one of the bigger docks south of here. So, and that's kind of what we're doing. And then on
Did you get to do the chopper trip yet?
What's that?
Did you get to do the helicopter thing yet?
No, we're going to do that on Sunday. So we're doing that on Christmas Day. So we are rolling out of here on Saturday, flying from here to Kauai. And we're going to go up to Kauai for a while and be up there for 4 or 5 days. And then back here so we could we're renting a camper van to do the road to Hana. So we'll do the road to Hana in a camper van so we can stop and sleep wherever the hell we want or whatever. So
boondocking in Hawaii, man. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a real Hawaii trip.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any Elvis
But
sightings? No.
No blue Hawaii, any Elvis sightings? No, not at all. But what is very funny is the Mele Kalikimaka, the Christmas spirit in this place is so funny because everything has got Santa Claus being pulled by dolphins and shit. There's wreaths everywhere, and it's so Christmassy. Like everybody's got it all fired up for Christmas, but it's 83 degrees, right? Yeah.
Palm
And
trees
there's,
with lights.
Yeah.
Palm trees, exactly, and people just carrying surfboards everywhere. Yeah,
Nice. Sounds fun.
it's really
man.
cool.
Excellent.
Nice.
I'm surprised how good your cell service is. But it is Hawaii. It's not fucking. It's
And
not.
this is Hawaii. This
Yeah.
place is. I mean, this is going to have better cell service than anywhere in Cleveland.
Did you
Okay,
pick? Did you
here's the
pick
big-
out a spot for Hawaii? Hawaii
Moto.
Hawaii Moto.
Maui Moto. Yeah. Maui Moto is right. That's desperate to happen. There's so many dead motorcycles around this place. Just like every 700 feet, there's a Honda Rebel that desperately needs restoration.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's no shortage of mid '80s V twins.
Oh.
So like every Yamaha, every Honda. This is where Valkyries come to die.
Huh.
I've seen 9 or 10 Valkyries that are kind of sitting in front of people's places. Because hey, people have timeshares. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take my motorcycle over to the island. Great. But we've got a Honda. We rented a Honda, so I've been off-roading in this Honda. I love it. It's a 2010 Element, a 2-wheel drive. It is fantastic. Again,
Nice.
there are places that you won't go, and for that you need a rented Honda Element.
A square CRV.
It has been unspeakable. Yeah. So we went down to all like little surfer holes in the places where, nobody's supposed to go. And there's signs telling you not to go there. And the little Element is like, yep, yeah, just point me in the right direction. I'll get you home.
Nice.
So it's been great. But here's the thing, poke, right? Like if you like poke, there's a place not 100 feet from where we're sleeping that is $14 a pound. Okay?
Is that pork?
Shitty lunch meat is $14 a pound. Right?
Wow.
Like not even
fish.
boar's head ham is $14 a pound.
Describe for us poke. We don't know what poke is.
Poke is raw tuna.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So poke, when you get a ceviche, when you get, seafood, and it's got brand new, fresh, just out of the water this morning, cubes of ahi tuna in it. That's poke. It's just tuna cubes with some seasoning on it. And
Delicious.
that is everywhere here. And
is it
you
good?
can't eat a meal without getting seafood.
Phil, is it good?
It's amazing. It is amazing. Yeah. Yeah. It is delightful. And you can get it served all kinds of different ways.
There's a poke place in West Akron near where my old house was. I bet you that the Hawaiian is way better than that.
Well, the Hawaiian one is probably just being cut apart in front of you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It probably just came off the boat. There's fish here is a major. Obviously, no shit, but yeah, fish here is a major commodity and a major part of the lifestyle. And, it's funny.
Another super important question. Have you seen Dog the Bounty Hunter?
We have not seen Dog the Bounty Hunter, but I have seen what I can only describe as being what Dog would look like right now. Maybe falling on some hard times.
So maybe you have.
There's a lot of guys here that used to have long blonde hair, but a lot of it's fallen out, and so now they have it tied up into various different types of man buns.
Ah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, like deep fried. South Carolina wasn't salt life enough for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
But
sun
there's a
worshipers.
strange thing. There's a weird element too when you see what Maui homeless look like, right?
Oh.
That's a weird thing. So folks that came here and then just lost it. They say BYOJ, if you're going to come here, you better bring your own job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's an interesting, very, very interesting thing. From a motorcycle standpoint, though, not a lot of action. Yeah. Not a place where you'd be like, oh, this is great. But also, the weather is epic. You know, you might get 1 or 2 rainy days a month, but yeah, on this island, they got microclimates like crazy. So if you're like, I want to drive over to that part of the island, you go from a place that gets 10 inches of rain per year to a place that gets 200 inches of rain per year in less than 10 miles.
Well, I think it was you that told me one time, too, good luck, you're only going to drive at maximum 45 mile an hour.
Yes.
Speed limit, you never go 65.
Yeah, and even here where they have the bypass roads and stuff that are, 55, 60 miles per hour, the number of 50cc scooters that are, putting along those roads, you could ride anything here. There's absolutely no question about, whatever kind of bike you wanted, you rock it, just have a blast.
What kind of roads are there? Are there twisties? Is it?
So you can get into the mountains and the roads are just super crazy magical twisties. Super crazy steep, typical island. I mean, it's a volcanic island. Yeah. So it goes from being sea level to 10,000 feet, and you can see it. You can literally see where I'm parked. I can look to my left, and I can see the top of a 10,000 foot mountain. But if I look to my right, I'm literally looking at the Pacific Ocean. So that's how crazy the elevation changes once you get away from the water, once you get away from the perimeter of the island. It is motherfucking steep. Yeah. Real steep.
Have you done anything in the water?
Oh, yeah. Every day. Wow. Every day except for there's been the Monday and Tuesday was the day when they literally said every sign and every store in every place said stay out of the water. Red flag warnings. It's fucking terrifying. So, there was no doubt on Monday or Tuesday, nobody was going in the water. Nobody. Like, even the hardcore monster surfer guys, they were not near the water.
For what reason?
Storm.
We had 60 mile an hour winds.
Ooh.
Yeah, so 60 mile an hour winds, 20 to 30 foot waves, and basically anything that was above the surface of the water was being relocated.
Nice. So surfing weather.
Surfing was out of the fucking question. So
there weren't any of those crazy,
no way.
20 foot crazy big wave dudes were out there or anything?
Yeah, there's all kinds. Like, this is Surfer's Paradise.
I'm sure somebody was out there.
Yesterday, we grabbed the boogie boards and just went out real quick because it's not safe to surf. The surf's way too high for us, for our skill level. So we did boogie boards, and it was hilarious because we went out into what looked to be like, oh, this is going to be great. This is perfect boogie board environment. But it's not. You're going to get fucking crushed. And so, we went out, and Merritt and I both got crushed within an hour. And, a 1 day, 24-hour rental of a boogie board, we needed it for an hour before we were both broken. Yeah. Merritt cricked her neck, like, all the way down to her ass. And I ate a mouthful of sand and,
nice.
Got a fat lip. Because you're still swimming in the ocean. There's still a riptide that can't be beat. So, if you do get flipped and run under, it's going to hurt. It's going to leave a mark. So, So even try the boogie boards yesterday was a mess. So, but tomorrow we're going to be doing some snorkeling, and we might do some surfing tomorrow too. So we'll see.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So are you guys going to have 20-foot gales out on Lake Erie tonight? Is that the deal?
Yeah,
we might.
We're pushing our luck. We got to leave by 12 because at 1, it's dropping like 50 degrees and it's supposed to get crazy.
That's what I read. And I got my kayak and shit all disconnected from where I keep it just before we left. So I'm super happy that Mother Nature would have stolen another kayak from me.
They're saying that the wind's going to go up to like 65 mile an hour gusts at 3 a.m. tonight or some shit.
Fuck that. Oh my God.
Yeah, we're fucked.
I'm on my third Christmas sale.
The backyard hold up. Yeah. See if those don't get ripped off the side of my house. Yeah.
John's working overtime. He's trying to put in some content.
Right?
He's on his third Christmas sale, guys. 2 bourbons, and 1 rum.
I heard somebody said nobody gets shit-faced anymore on the podcast.
There was a complaint that nobody got faced anymore on the podcast.
The hard hitters aren't hitting hard anymore.
Well, John's picking up the slack.
Look, I have stumbled into 2 good rums here on the island so far. And, we're going to Kauai. So we'll be going to Kauai on Saturday, which has got crazy good rums too. So very excited about that.
What is the number one Hawaiian brand? I mean, is there?
So there's a lot. So if you
every plantation's a different brand or whatever.
There's a lot of really good distilleries on Oahu. And there's one called Ohana, I believe it's Ohana. Ohana is fucking amazing rum. And that's agricole and that stuff. And they actually get their rum from sugar canes that have been extinct. They brought back. And that's big money. Even here in the stores, that's $40 to $50 for a bottle, right? But the rum here is crazy cheap. Honestly, the liquor is pretty crazy cheap.
I'm surprised you don't have a list from Stefan.
No, I don't, and that was the other thing too. It's like, yeah, bring this one back. No, you're not going to ship it back, but yeah. And then see if I can fit a case in my checked baggage. But it is not expensive. This is one of those places where a pack of cigarettes here is $15, but a decent bottle of rum is $12.
Wow, that's because it's not imported. It's probably the only thing that's made there, right?
That's exactly it. So stuff like the fish and stuff like the rum that's made here,
and the
because
weed.
It's not imported, it's going to be cheaper. Yeah.
Is it legal in Hawaii?
I don't know if weed's legal. Is weed legal in Ohio or in
I have only one thing to say to that, and it fucking must be, because there is no hesitation for anybody here. If
they selling it on every
legal,
beach?
it is one of those like overlooked things.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. If it's illegal here, nobody's trying to enforce it. Yeah. There is absolutely no harm. But honestly, you don't even see somebody smoking a cigarette. Here in Lahaina, it's tourist center. So it's basically a bunch of people trying to get in touch with nature by standing in line for a chain restaurant.
Love it. That sounds right up my alley.
But it has been fantastic. If you just wanted to come here and eat, that would be great. But I would strongly recommend coming here and every single day going in the water and letting a 93 million gallon Petty pot just clean you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, it makes you feel fantastic.
Do you feel grounded? Have you been earthed properly?
I have been correctly earthed. I have been correctly grounded.
Have you been baking your perineum in the noon sun on the beach?
Yes, I have inverted myself and aimed my my perineum at the midday sun.
Yeah.
Wink at the sun.
I will tell you this. For anybody who's planning on traveling here, at 9 o'clock, everything closes.
At night?
And nothing is open past 9 p.m.
Wow.
Nothing. So, like, any good restaurant, any good bar you might want to go to, 9 o'clock, go home.
There's no sunlight. Fuck this. Let's go to sleep.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's probably worthwhile getting up early, though. You know what I mean?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right. It's like, okay, well, why are we going to stay open? The idea of island time is that everybody that works here, every staff member at every bar, well, they don't want to be here till 2 in the morning.
Nope.
They want to go sit on the beach and have a sandwich, right? Yep. So they can't get anybody to work after 7 or 8 p.m. So even the places that close at 9, we haven't closed the bar down yet. Huh. At 8:30, you're like, wow, what time is it? It's like midnight. No, it's 8:30. Go home. Yeah.
Have you had any spam?
What'd you say, John?
Have you had any spam?
I have. And, their big thing here is they're trying to call it Portuguese sausage. Yeah. So it's like a reformulated spam.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, would you like Portuguese sausage with that? And
spam and pineapple?
Like, you can't lie to me.
Well, they have, that's where they made the spam sushi that got popular, right? Like,
yes, it is. Yeah, and it's here. It's here. There's a hell of a lot of restaurants that serve it. There's no doubt about it.
Thermidor.
Spam.
We when you go down Kanapali's a big deal here. Like Waikiki, Waikiki, Honolulu. That is to Oahu what Kanapali is to Maui, and Kanapali's the fancy place where all the super ridiculous fancy resorts are. But in Hawaii, every person has access to every beach. So the Westin, the Ritz, they can't keep you off of their beach.
Right.
Get it? So there's public access parking places every so often, and you just hike your ass down to the beach. And they're tough, and you've got to figure it out. You got to be willing to, park it and hang it out.
Sure.
But it's fantastic. And you're going down the beach, and there's like 6 places having luau's all at the same time.
Sweet.
Oh, man. You talk about food. And you're just roaming between them, and it is just, the smell is overpowering.
I don't know what it is, but if I was in Hawaii, I would want to try to find some lounge that time forgot. And if I could find like a 1950s, 60s, just a period correct, that would be, I would dress up for it just to have that scene. It would be so fucking cool.
Yeah, that's a good point. Phil, how is the mid-century modern furniture over there? Because in North Carolina, it's dead.
So it's insane. So it's where it all came. It's obviously where everybody brought it.
Right.
All the major hotel properties that are fancy pants, they've got modern versions of mid-century modern happening in their ballrooms and in their, remember, a lot of these places you go into, the area where you go in to register for the hotel, the waiting room, the area, there's no walls. There's no doors.
Right.
Everything's open, right? So there's just so much of this idea of the hotel we're in, it doesn't have a heater. There's no source of heat in this thing, right? There's no source of heat. There's also no windows. It's screens and jalousies, that's what it is. It's screens and jalousies. There's just no glass outside of our patio door, right? Because, hurricanes do hit occasionally and they want the damage to be minimum. So, but it's the funniest thing. But yeah, we found a few places that are just like insane hangs where you just want to go bury yourself in the place for a couple of days. So, and then
do they actually have tiki bars? Do they actually have tiki bars in Hawaii?
Yeah, I've been to 3 of them so far.
Aren't they all tiki bars?
They are kind of all tiki bars. Every fucking menu's a fucking tiki menu, I'll tell you that. You can't go into a place here and not get a Mai Tai. You can't go into a place here and not get a lava flow, right? That's everywhere. There are certain drinks that you just will not be able to not have while you're here. So that's great. And the funny thing is, the places that are actually real, they call themselves a tiki bar. There are not that many of them because you could just grab a drink to go from someplace on the curb and go out in the street and drink it, or go out on some fucking wicked lanai and just sit back and watch the sun go down.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't do decorations better than actually Hawaii.
Right.
Right.
It's legit.
You want to see a palm tree? Go outside. Yeah.
You're there.
Yeah, you want to see some coconuts? Go outside. Yeah. Right.
I love seeing me some coconuts.
It's all outside.
Tell us more about the coconuts.
Hey, have you seen any of the the ladies from Beachwood that get all excited about the staged luau's with all the ladies dancing with the grass skirts?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every big hotel here has one, and there's even called the Old Lahaina Luau, which is a tourist trap everybody goes to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luau's are a tourist trap. They're gonna bring you an unstoppable amount of food. They're gonna bring you an impossible amount of sangria. It's all gonna happen, right? That's all gonna be real. And you're gonna pay, a couple $100 for the privilege. Yeah. But it'll be a thing, everybody should go to one luau. And then once you've had your one luau, then you'll never need to go to another luau ever again. Yeah. Go to a luau at Disney. Disney knows how to do a luau. Right? They don't miss a beat. Yeah. If you're in Disney, Florida, and you go to luau there, you're going to get the world's greatest luau experience.
Hey, Phil, here's a stupid question. Does it get dark at 5 o'clock?
Yes, it fucking does.
Okay.
Yeah. By 5:45 p.m., it is straight up. The sun's down, baby.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. It is. The sun is going down, and that's kind of the gem. It's 4:36 right now, and everybody's making their way to the beach to watch the sun go down.
Wow. All right. So here's my question then too. So you have all these resorts and everything, but all these people work there. Is there can you see the difference between where the resorts are and where just the normal schlubs that live there and work there are?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we got got some advice about a couple of local bars where the service industry people go to drink. You know, a couple of places that will stay open a little bit late because they're just serving service people. Yeah. So
isn't that going to boil down to on the shore versus inland, like everything on?
You know what? It does. It does. There's a lot of, everything that looks at the ocean is going to be expensive. It's going to be catering to tourists. That is the name of the game. We found a resort that's a very chilled out resort that, it's not popular. It's not in a popular area. And we ate and drank there last night, and it was one of the best beaches I've ever been on in my life. And on top of that, the food was cheap and the drinks were cheap, which is Maui impossible. That just doesn't happen. And we looked around us, and our server was like, oh, yeah, that person works at the restaurant. That person works at like everybody in the service industry. This is their spot.
Nice.
Oh, I'm seeing right there driving past me is a Honda Acti minivan, and then, the Raccoon edition. Look it up.
Yeah.
The Tsuzuki. It is. So a Honda Acti Raccoon just went past me. Probably never been to the United States. Probably shipped here directly from Japan.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Honda Acti Raccoon. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff here that came from Japan that didn't make it to America.
Huh.
That's not uncommon.
That was always my dream, was to do the opposite, to take stuff from America in containers over there and sell them to people coming there from Japan, because, I mean, you get a lot of Japanese on the island, right?
Oh, yeah, you do.
And they've got some money. They wouldn't mind buying back a 1967 Super Hawk in mint condition. That's
Well, now wait a minute, John. I wouldn't either.
But they'd probably pay 3 times more than you would.
Well, the other thing, too, is there's dead cars here. So dead cars don't leave the island. And so when you're driving around in the Hawaiian Islands, you'll see dead cars off on the side of the road. You'll be like, motherfucking people's cars are getting jacked here all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And they're getting gutted and burnt and left on the side of the highway. That's not what's happening. It's not like there's rampant car theft. It's a freaking island, after all. What's happening is when your car engine blows, when the motor blows in your BMW or whatever, you can't get parts to fix it. You just sort of leave it. And there's this big problem with abandoned cars just clogging the place up here and there. And it really makes the island look shitty, and they don't have a program for getting rid of it, because getting 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 pound pieces of metal off the island, it's not a cash rich business.
Are there no scrap companies in Hawaii?
There are, but the point being, if you have a scrap car in Cleveland, you can take it somewhere and they'll give you $250 for it. Right. They'll further take it apart, further recycle it, and it will eventually get molten down and made into some other piece of metal, right? Right. Well, there's nobody here. There's nowhere here on these islands that melts things down and makes it into other pieces of metal.
There's not a steel mill.
No, but there's volcanoes.
There is no steel mill here.
Throw it in the volcano.
Just toss that fucker in the volcano, man.
You're right. Just throw it in the volcano. That's exactly right. Because electricity here is fucking expensive. And what makes steel mills is electricity. Yeah. So you can't have a steel mill without gobs and gobs and gobs of electricity. So because those resources here on the island are insanely expensive, so these cars are just fucking abandoned. They're just left here. And you can go pick the carcass for whatever you might need for your car, but not real far off the road. When you're on a major road, you look left and right. You'll see 19 or 20 derelict old Toyota Corollas and Hyundai Elantras just laying there with their doors peeled off and their trunk peeled off, because they're just abandoned there. People are scavenging them for parts.
Have you seen any Alfa Romeo Alfettas on the island?
I have not seen any Alfettas.
Okay, never mind.
I have seen some Maserati biturbos.
Oh my god!
How many have you seen here?
Yeah.
He's seen just as many there as you've seen here.
Yeah, right. There are Bugatti Veyrons.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A place where you could. There's not a straight road here that you could drive over 70 miles an hour on. But at Kanapali, there is no shortage of luxury assholes that have shipped over there incredibly dumb. Oh, Teslas. Any Tesla you want. X model, S model. Yeah, they're all here. There's every kind of Tesla.
Wow.
So, but yeah, it's a different thing, different culture.
So is the infrastructure for charging the Teslas pretty good on the island then?
It must be. It has to be, because I've seen them everywhere. Yeah.
Well,
there is absolutely no shortage of Teslas.
We could talk to you all night, but I'm sure when you get back, you're going to want to tell us a lot about all this. So
yeah, I'll give you guys a proper review when we get back, and it'll be super boring to anybody who doesn't like the world's worst travel channel.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, but it's a totally different scene. Right now, we're in a touristy area, which Merritt's funny. Merritt's over there meditating under a giant, ridiculous palm tree.
that's exactly what I imagined she would be doing.
Yeah.
Waiting for you to get off the phone with us,
No,
knuckleheads.
that was funny. When Nick texted us and we were on the boat whale watching tour, which, by the way, you pay your money, you take your chances. We saw 30 freaking whales.
Nice.
And we saw whales jumping out of the water. We saw whales breaching. We saw them doing the slappy, flappy tail dance.
Oh, okay. So these weren't whales that were actually on the tour with you. These were whales in the water.
Yeah. This was legit. But these are big ass humpback whales, because the area between, between Molokai, Lanai, and where we are right now, Maui, is they call it whale soup, right? So this is where they come to breed and have their babies. So there's a lot of competitive reproduction happening just offshore.
Sweet.
Nice.
You're literally
exactly
swimming in whale semen there.
Yeah, if you go out deep enough, yeah. You get a mouthful, and you're like, wow, this tastes extra salty.
Oh my God, how big is a whale sperm? Did it get stuck in your teeth?
I mean, right? Come on. Yeah. Interesting fun fact I learned today. Baby whales, when they're born, over 3,500 pounds, 15 feet long.
Holy shit, a baby whale, 3,500 pounds, over 15
and
feet
15
long.
feet long, and puts on 100 pounds a day of just milk.
Okay, so Cinch is talking about a sperm swimming up his ass right now.
Well, I know, but think about a baby whale from the day it's born. It knows how to swim and do everything.
Yeah.
But the day it's born, it puts on 100 pounds a day of just mother's milk.
Oh my.
Holy shit.
Right? 100 pounds a day.
Good glug.
That's a lot, man. That is a lot. So yeah, it's just like
why are we out there having, like, what would whale ice cream taste like?
There you go. Yep.
It's a bit fishy.
Exactly.
Something's fishy with this.
Right. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go.
We miss you terribly.
Yes, Will. I hope you all managed to survive the icebox.
Snowpocalypse 2020.
Snowpocalypse 22, yep. Well, all right, man. Well, we will see. John, I might have to ask you to go by and check on the shop because Renee went out of town. So.
I've driven by a couple times. I called her because I thought she left her headlights on the one night.
Oh, okay.
But I can anytime you need me to.
All right, I might have you do that.
All right, on that note.
On that note, guys, ride fast and take chances.
Ba 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 ba.
Buttons.
Do we want to end the podcast or take a break?
I don't care.
Let's take a break, no matter what.
Yeah.
1 hour later.
All right, so here we go. We're back at it. We're going to go ahead and fire up the podcast again.
And
Dan was
anyways,
letting us listen to some of his old school vinyl. Mm-hmm. That was really, what was that called? The Scrubby?
Scrubby the Worm. Scrubby or Worm? What was it? Scrubby Worm.
Harlow Wilcox and the Okies.
Yeah, huge woodcocks in the Okies. What is it? Yeah, that's what it was.
All right, we're rolling. We got numbers, Dan.
We got to push the
giant
music
grub
down.
worm.
Push the grub worm down.
There we go.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right, well, it was really nice hearing from Phil.
Yeah, that was crazy.
In the land of
paradise.
Hanaliki.
His wife loves us.
They
tracked you down on Hawaii.
I
think she's kind of used to that kind of stuff, and that's why I wanted to
know
not.
what she was getting into.
Yeah, right.
well, I mean, that's why texted him asking for, if he wanted to do such a thing. But,
Well, I think that's just her thing. I mean, if there's a little lull in the action, I can go over here and I can meditate or whatever. Good, nice to have.
for sure.
So you guys went outside to the weather monitoring deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were out on the smoking deck,
Oh, that deck, yeah.
and this guy from North Carolina,
It is frigid as fuck.
it's about 47
Yeah,
degrees.
it's like
Right.
it's cold.
So he's dying.
It has not
now.
gotten any colder than when we got
God,
here.
Yeah, I was
you
about
you
to say.
adjusted there in what, like 16 months, and you're just Captain Cold Blood.
You know,
now?
in North Carolina, it does snow some, maybe a week out of the year.
That's when you guys all hit each other because you forget how to drive.
Well, and when it does snow, yeah, everything shuts down. It's like you're not going to work if it snows.
They forget that they even could drive and just stay home.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. It's like I don't have even all seasons on my car. I have summer tires, and summer tires are useless. If there is,
I tried
totally
that in my
useless.
STI. I tried
Yeah.
to drive to work with my summer
Yeah.
tires in about like 2.5 inches of snow. I thought I was gonna die.
They are-
It was pure luck that I
They are
didn't crash.
absolutely useless.
I tried to slow down to turn right on just a very slight downslope. I skidded for like 2.5 blocks before the car stopped.
I at one point had the wild idea. I'm like, I'm going to take my Corvette out in the snow sometime, and so then I'm like, well, let's see what it's like. Let's watch a video.
Right.
It is not good. It's a Corvette going and not going anywhere.
Right.
So that never happened.
Well, it's like my one experience. I have snow.
And it has all seasons on it. I'm sure it won't go anywhere.
I have autocross tires on, like 200 tread weight, like super low profile tires on my Hyundai, and I went to buy something on Facebook Marketplace last year, I remember, and when I was on my way home, it started to snow, and it started to accumulate just a little bit, and as I was getting off the highway exit to my house, it's like I went to brake, and it's like locked up for like 20 feet, and it's just. It's insane.
I had that happen to me on my Super Tenere when I used to work at BMA.
Mm-hmm.
I went to work. It was like December 12th, and I had ridden because it hadn't snowed yet, and there was no salt on the roads a couple of years ago. And I rode to work, and I worked in that cave, so I had no idea what was going on outside. If you guys remember, so like 5 hits. I'm walking out. I'm like, oh no! And the parking lot is just white. I'm like, fuck! And like, but I was like, well, it was that light fluffy. It wasn't slushy or anything.
you got an adventure bike.
I'm like, all right. And fortunately, like, it was only like a half mile worth before it started. The snow started to peter out. It was just wet again. But dude, that's no fun, man. I don't know how these dudes ride in that stuff. Like, I was foot down going a half mile an hour, like on the side of the road, like not fun.
I want to bring up an adventure bike real quick,
Okay.
because I remember a couple years ago, Amber and I went to Hudson, New York, which is it's a gay town. It's a very hipster town, and there's a lot of interesting vehicles there. And one of the interesting vehicles that I saw was a Yamaha XTZ 750 Tenere.
Yeah, black and yellow or
White and blue.
white and blue.
White and
Okay.
blue with yellow accents.
Yeah.
And that bike has captured my imagination since.
It's like you're talking the 80s one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like an early 90s.
Early 90s.
Like
yeah.
maybe 90, 91.
Yeah, it's a beautiful bike,
Yeah.
man.
Two
Really-
headlights.
Yeah.
And then,
The
yeah.
round headlights in the front.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Well, it was battling that original Africa Twin. That was like the
Sure.
That was the counterpart of
Yeah.
the Africa Twin back then.
Yeah.
It's a great fucking bike. It's
So
pretty.
when we were out in the smoking deck, we were starting to talk about. Well, first it started. We were talking about your place out there, and it's a nice spread.
Okay.
And he was talking about when he stayed out there, and then we started talking about Cinchapalooza.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about I'm like, we need to have a big bash out at Steve's place.
Yeah.
And I was telling him that I saw a really good
Shit, I don't remember.
why am I having a hard time thinking? The singer just died.
Oh shit, Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac cover
The singer
band.
just died? Who died?
Christy McVie.
Oh shit.
But
I didn't know that.
What rock
Not
have you been
Stevie
hiding
Nicks.
on? What?
Not Stevie Nicks, though, right?
No, Stevie Nicks did not.
Yeah.
She actually sent her condolences and said that she was one of her best friends and it was, heartfelt and everything.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of diddling going on, right? There was diddling.
Back, I mean, they were all
There was diddling.
they were snorting coke and having a good time, and I'm fucking you, and now you're fucking this, and they're fucking. There was a lot of fucking going on.
Are we fucking? Who's fucking? Who's fucking today?
We fucking. You fucking. You fucking me? Am I fucking? Am I fuck him? Am I fuck you?
Okay, all right. So Christy V died.
So what?
Cinchapalooza.
So but it boils down to Cinchapalooza. But I was like, so I went and saw this cover band. And it was like $20 or $30 for the VIP pass.
Yeah.
There was only like 200 people there. So, their take was like maybe $6,000. So, the band only got like... Well, then, so I started researching it, and you could book that band, Rumors, which was a dead knockoff of...
Rumors was the name of the band?
Rumors was the name of the band.
All right.
For $1,200. I'm like,
It was like a 12-piece band. Full.
Well, no, but it was the band, okay, and it was like listening to Fleetwood Mac.
It is Fleetwood Mac.
It was Fleetwood Mac, and I'm like,
I'd only trust it more if it had the experience after it. It's like Rumors.
The Fleetwood Mac experience.
But I'm like, why wouldn't we book a cover band?
Fleetwood and Company.
Or why couldn't we have a festival where we just book like 6 cover bands and just have like this cool
Cinchapalooza.
I'm not opposed to this. You just got to figure out parking.
We were talking.
Shuttle bus.
You have a garage.
No. You
have neighbors.
Yeah.
But then we were talking like, well, at band camp, why don't they just have like a cover band? Like it's great that there's DJing all weekend long and everything, and you can't just have bands all weekend long.
No. But a nice party night, yeah.
But at the right time, like right after dinner on Saturday night, if there was a cover band. And it was literally Fleetwood Mac in person, like it would be cool.
Or at Mid-Ohio, too, in the corner, instead of just DJ Town all the thing, let's get a fucking cover band down there.
Back to Cinchapalooza.
Yeah.
So we started talking hard about Cinchapalooza, and you talk about parking, but could you imagine...
You can trademark
You got your property, but your neighbor's in on it, too.
Right.
And if you took your property and just imagine car, tent, all the way around your whole property...
Uh-huh.
I mean, you could have 200 people out there, no problem.
Sure. Yeah.
We'd have to probably get porta potties or do something with your septic system or have it like do
a whole bunch of porta potties.
Well, I mean, it's not without my realm of capabilities to build a 4-way shitter, like
a 4-way shitter
that dumps into your. I mean, we could have facilities. I know people, We have people who all day long are dumping into it. I could talk to any one of the guys and they could drop 10 porta potties and suck them
Pump
out.
it right in the pond, man.
No! Dude, Amy kisses those fish. I don't want her coming in the house.
People are going to be swimming in the pond, and it's going to be interesting.
100%.
When somebody comes out with a koi on their dick. Then the party really starts happening.
It catches on and becomes a TikTok challenge.
But then there's the whole area behind the pond. I mean, you could sit there, it could be like, you're just
well, that's
camping
the
all
stage
around.
area back there, dude.
Yeah, that's where the real cool people are hanging out. I'm going to bring my RV and put it way back in there. And that'll hold it
You have
down.
a couch. You have to interview anybody that's going to go toward the stage on John's casting couch back there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, this could be an awesome thing some weekend this summer
Yeah.
to have Cinchapalooza. What do you think? What
I'm
do you
not
think,
opposed, man. If I can get my wife to go out of town.
No.
Oh,
She's gonna be
you
there.
have to handle my wife. You do.
I will
you always
totally handle your wife.
Right.
Your wife gets to invite all of her friends.
She loves you, though. See, that's the
Yeah,
problem.
no,
She
he's
He's
loves
going to
you.
handle your wife.
Oh, he can. He's John's man.
Well, no, she can have all of her friends. They can all stay in the house or whatever. If she has any friends that she wants to bring in from out of town or whatever, right?
Right, they have VIP access to the whole whatever the fuck this is. But
I don't know. We're not going to get too into the food
What
and
does
stuff.
VIP access get you?
It's going to be a lot of.
not much. A house. That's what it
I
gets.
just like how you guys came down from the fucking breathing deck or whatever the fuck it is. And this is the best. I have the best idea. I have such a good topic. And this was it. This was
is it. A big party at your house.
What did you expect?
Well, no, it's fine. I'm not opposed to it.
I mean, isn't that why you bought that property?
Yes.
Yes.
We went 9 feet that way and smoked a cigarette. What did you expect?
I just don't see why it's all about picking the right weekend, though.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if any of our listeners want to chime in on what a great weekend is, it's ultimate. I think Phil would have the best input on that, and he would have the pulse on when a weekend when there's no other scooter rallies or whatnot. I mean, for years he's wanted to have a Cleveland scooter rally.
Yeah.
And, from here and there, we kind of did it with Mods versus Rockers, and when Amerivespa was in town. But having a place, I mean, your place could be like Bandcamp 2.
Do you think we could get Hell's Angels to do security?
No. We will not.
Okay.
There will be no security. We will not need security.
Okay.
That's the best kind of security.
The people that come will not need security.
No.
And
because they are adults who can not freaking fuck everything up.
do you think that would be fun?
Yes, I do.
I like it. And I can work with Amy on this. I'll talk with her about it. If she wants to be involved, she can be there. If she just wants to skedaddle, that's cool too. We can
Sounds
understand
good.
Listen, I'm working on an ATV with a plow right now. That's what I'm going for. I'm putting some loot away a little bit here and there, and I'm convincing her that she needs this too, for dragging things around the yard in the yard trailer, man. You have to have a yard trailer, dude, when you got a big yard,
No.
right?
You do need to have a quad runner out
man.
there. You need something. You need something with a plow so you can do your driveway.
Well, and it also becomes a Zamboni so we can set up for fucking ice racing.
What kind of quad do you got?
I don't yet.
Oh,
that's what
okay.
I'm saying.
All right. You're still working.
I'm working on this. This is not a thing. How long have you been married?
Dude,
we already ran.
I just
power.
got here. I don't know what you're talking about.
We already ran power out to the horse barn.
I know.
So off the back of the horse barn, we get a stage with a little covered stage, and everybody sits around the pond.
All right, so this is happening in 2023.
Yeah,
all
dude.
the podcast listeners start booking your airline tickets now.
I'm a fucking force to be reckoned with.
Guys, if this happens, I will be there.
I mean, and when it really comes down to it, it's not trouble finding people to come. Phil probably has 600 people.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, if you put it out there, people will come.
Yeah.
It'll
Build it and they will come.
It'll be some kind of party.
Yeah. All right.
It will be some kind of party.
Oh yeah. We're gonna have to have a drag show.
I mean, maybe
stir show.
The biggest thing, I don't want it too organized because I don't want to put anybody. I want everybody to be able to party. I don't want to have to work that whole weekend. I don't want
There
you to
will
have
be
to work
bluegrass.
The only thing we have to have is somebody
If you're
working
playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has to work the driveway and have every person sign a waiver.
That's right. Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
If we get $10 or $20 out of each person,
well,
and you have 200 people, and you have 200 people, like it would be plenty of money to cover it all.
It's got to
Just be like, welcome to Cinchapalooza. How much would you like to donate?
all right.
And don't act like you haven't been involved in this kind of shit a million times before.
I have.
Right.
You've done all kinds
Yeah,
of
I
shit
know,
like
dude.
this.
I have.
Dude.
So call up your buddy that had 50,000 hits of ecstasy.
Yeah.
See if he's still in the game.
Now, here's the thing, though.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Should we? I might be able to pull off permission to build a pit bike track behind the pond.
Nope, that's too organized.
No, everybody's just going to do a big circle
Yeah.
somewhere.
Big circle.
Just
you
big
need a
circle.
big
You don't
circle.
want anything with a couple of little boop boops?
Well, there might be
Maybe.
some boo-boos. There's
If
all those
if it's
woods.
in the big circle.
I'd be like, once you get a bunch of people there, I'd be like, you guys ought to clear some space. You guys ought to like make a little track back there.
Yard is full of whoop whoops.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Who's not allergic to poison ivy?
there's a chainsaw over there.
We'll
and there's some
figure it
stuff,
out.
Like, there's
It will
be
work
like
itself out.
a Mid-Ohio after party.
Ooh.
Actually, if you got poison ivy back there, Roundup makes Roundup poison ivy stuff, and you go out there next spring, or as soon as you see the poison ivy starting
I
popping,
think it still kills the tree. I think that's what the dude was doing, and that's what killed some of the trees. And that's why I was like, even though I don't know, I want to kill trees, man.
with a tree, you don't want to go all the way around it for sure,
Right.
but a little bit of spirits of. Well, at any rate,
I'm not opposed.
Just where you want the path to be.
The bath?
Path.
The path. What path?
I think it's got to go all
Path.
the way around
The dirt bike path.
Oh, the dirt bike.
It's got to go around the pond through the muddy section. So that section over here, where the water comes in, you'll just have a mud hole.
No, it
And
can't.
people will be like, yeah, that'd be perfect.
No, I don't like that. I don't want the muddy section. I was thinking about building an actual track. It's a little fucking circle, then a couple of...
That sounds like a lot of work.
Sounds like a great idea. Let's do that. Moving forward.
All right.
So then we have 200 people.
Right. Well, I'm saying, that way they know where they can ride and they're not beating up my whole world.
The whole world is going to get beat. But it's not. Guess what, Steve? Grass grows back in about 2 weeks.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
You could have a. You could do band camp at your place, and 2 weeks later you'll be like, oh fuck, I got them all.
Yeah, well, we're gonna start rewilding some of it anyways, because it's fucking stupid to have grass everywhere like that. So it doesn't really matter anyways.
I'm just saying, man. Cinchapalooza.
Yeah, I'm in, dude.
Cinchapalooza. Say it.
Say it.
Cinchapalooza.
Say it louder.
So this is gonna, just so you all know, this is going nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, that's really bad.
Well, it was worth a shot.
I'm not opposed to it, man.
Well.
I brought that up to you last year.
Never seen Sleepy this uncomfortable.
I'm not that uncomfortable, man. I told you I wanted to do something like that.
It just makes him a little nervous. I can understand because it's your place and having a lot of people there. There's some responsibility.
It was a good idea.
We'll work with you on that.
It was a good idea.
We could even nail it down to get event insurance and stuff. People are familiar with that.
They have apps for that now. It's crazy.
Yeah,
dude, it's nuts. You can put in.
We will figure out a way that you can indemnify yourself and everything like that.
Yeah. Oh man, it'll be fun. We'll do something.
All right.
So then the other thing we were going to talk about
is Macapalooza out in Conneaut.
Macapalooza, that is probably going to be a much smaller event, but yeah, I could see a Macapalooza. I would love to have a bunch of people out there. Probably mostly
the
just
war thing.
Well, I mean, that probably would be an ideal weekend for everybody to come out.
Yeah, dude.
What?
The war thing, man.
At least this first year, because after this first year, my wife's going to...
weekend, we're already out in the country there, too. Right?
So, as we talked about in a previous podcast, but there's what's called D-Day Conneaut.
Yeah, man.
So it's the World War II invasion of Conneaut.
That's
so you have Germans and you have the guys that are all, World War II reenactments. And it's down to, they have Higgins boats that are landing on the beach. And they have a reenactment of Omaha Beach. And guys are landing, and there are literally tanks firing off. It's all blank rounds and stuff like that. They have tanks, they have howitzers, they have, like small arms fire, like all day long. Like I'm at my house and I'm hearing all this like boop, boop, boop,
dude,
boop, boop, boop.
I completely forgot of what I thought it was going to be, like some fucking dudes walking down the street with some tents set up and jerking each other off and shit, But I wanted to go see John's house. When I rode out there, I had no idea what I was getting into. And as I get into Conneaut, and it's like I'm trying to find where his house is, this fucking like twin engine blue with the white invasion stripes fucking giant airplane flies like 25 feet from the ground, like I was like, fuck, all right, this is
you have
cool.
like P-51 Mustangs doing strafing runs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
it was cool, man.
It's full-blown World War II is what they go for. And you have the Germans up on the hills.
Who pays for all that shit?
It's
it's a hobby.
Dude, that one dude brought 3 semis of tanks.
Yeah?
From Florida.
And he did it willingly.
Yeah.
Probably.
He's got money and he loves to do it, and that's like, where am I going to...
They all stay in their own camps.
Yeah.
If you're a German soldier, you got to stay with all the German soldiers.
There's a German camp here, Grenza. There's a border.
Do you think when they're all German and they're playing their old stuff, they break out like... You know what I'm saying? Like, how deep do you think those enactors get? Like, are they like...
I think the German guys are the seasoned American guys, and they've been like, well, we need Germans, so we're going to go play the bad guy.
Yeah,
okay.
We did the American side.
It's probably
it's
true.
The higher level of we need
it's like
that.
we need some people to play like bad guys.
Plus, I mean, say what you will, the costumes, the uniforms of the Reich.
Sure,
they're pretty sweet. I mean, I'm not into the swastikas.
They all became.
But that's also one of the rules is you're not allowed any political signs.
Right.
And what that means is you're not allowed the swastika. You're not allowed. They're not allowed to display the swastika. I don't think they can have the lightning bolts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're allowed to dress as...
Yeah, because that
you can have like the Iron Cross and so certain things like that, but you're not in... Those were political parties, actually.
Sure.
Right, you're right.
So that's why they've left all that out, and rightfully
fair
so.
enough.
We're not trying to be pseudo Nazis.
Sure.
But you know what's weird? Like,
it goes without saying. Everybody knows.
But it's weird how some people take different things. So when I was in the airplane world with the RC planes and stuff, the big, like, the huge, like, half-scale, $50,000, like, Top Gun, every rivet is accounted for from the real plane to that one. When they build those fucking warbirds, they fucking have the swastikas just giant on the tail.
Well,
and stuff.
because it's a 12-foot long plane at the most. You know, it's
No, this is our fucking
Well-
huge. But still, I'm just saying, like, but it is
Again,
very
yeah.
correct and it's
Great.
accurate. And
Don't
everything.
bring it to Conneaut D-Day.
Right,
Because
right,
they don't
right.
want to have your shit there.
Right.
Yeah.
They've decided they're not going to fly
Yeah.
the fucking swastika. They're not going to do that.
Well,
It's
yeah.
okay to have German soldiers. That's part of it.
Yeah,
But they've decided to tone that part of it out of it,
that's cool.
which is fine.
that's respectable.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
no problem with that.
But the other thing is up there. I mean, I drove around. I haven't been able to ride my motorcycle around there, but I've driven around a little bit. I found some dirt roads, like just out of town and make a right. Turns into a dirt road. Turns into another dirt road. If you want to do like a little light ADV riding,
Yeah.
we could do that. There's the whole covered bridges and winery thing, where there's like fucking 50 covered bridges and 50 wineries. How many do you want to hit in a day? And it's right on the PA border, so if you go, but the funny thing is the town of Conneaut, Ohio, not to be confused with Conneaut Lake, Pennsylvania, the town of Conneaut, its west or its eastern border is basically PA state game land. So like the city runs, and then on the state line, it ends, and then that's all woods. So there's just miles and miles of woods until you get halfway to Erie, PA.
Wow.
And there's some like places, I think there's definitely some cool things that we could hit along the lake road. So you could follow the lake road along the lake, and there's the Big Rock, there's the this, there's the that.
Yeah.
We could go to the White Turkey Diner, and
We're gonna do all that next year, right?
and we could, by that point, we'll have a fire pit, we'll have a house that was a duplex. We can all camp out, pick your room, whatever you want to do.
So
Let me know.
So since we're talking about stuff that we're thinking about doing for next year, so have we figured out or what we're thinking about doing for our Wiggly Road trip this year?
Well, that's the other thing that we were talking about on the smoke deck, the Pisgah National 2023.
Yeah, trip.
Pisgah Pilgrimage,
Yeah. There you go.
the second annual.
Yeah.
We survived the first year. I don't have any immediate plans for the second year.
Okay.
Dan had some good suggestions for like the thing is with the Pisgah National Forest is it's massive. It totally engulfs, it's up above and sort of east of Asheville, and it's also sort of below Asheville.
I think as long as we're in either the Pisgah, there's another national forest right next to it there. There's good roads everywhere. It really doesn't, doesn't matter.
The thing is, there's mountains there, so it's hard to not have good
Right.
roads.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll figure something out.
I've already seen, we've already thrown out some Airbnbs that were beautiful.
Oh,
so
fuck yeah. We're getting a hot tub this year, dude. I want to
We
sit
got
next to
it.
John.
We got
just
I
wieners
can't
out.
wait to have you stroking me in a hot
fuck
tub. Oh, fuck yeah. And then I grab you by the back.
I mean, honestly, this past year, the Airbnb was great because it had really good. It had really good views, dude. There were mountains that you could see from the balcony, and there were plenty of. I mean, there wasn't plenty of beds because I slept
I
on the
wouldn't
couch.
mind
but-
going back there.
but-
Even that was an
On
awesome.
it, well, and
awesome
I think
spot.
at this point in time it is available. So
But
we'll
it
see.
didn't
if there's
have a hot tub.
But it did not have.
But it
a
had
hot
a
tub.
garage, which
Yeah.
was kind of sweet.
Yeah, that was
Right,
kinda
that's
sweet.
true. That's
I
true.
mean, there's
And
no
then-
chance of going back in time without a hot tub.
Well, and we had like one neighbor, and I don't think they were even there. So yeah,
But we did go before most people would have dared to go.
Right,
'cause
that was-
we
that
were
was-
battling ice.
Yes.
Does it really matter? As long as it's before the end of the school year, it's not going to be too crazy.
Yeah.
I think. I think that in the time frame that we're looking at.
Sometime in March, maybe beginning of April.
Yeah, March to
I think
April.
we should all try to build
You got
super
Easter
motos.
usually
That's
more
the
somewhere
time
in
we
that
need
time
down
frame
there.
that you have to work around. And I mean,
I think
have
everybody
to work
needs to
around
get their
because
own
I go-
trailer, and you can bring 2 bikes.
I
Take
go to
your best
Minnesota
pick.
every Easter for a science fiction
Right,
convention.
right. Okay, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, I mean,
Well,
I feel
you've
like...
already said that next time you do Pisgah, you want to do it on a real bike. So I'm assuming in your world that means you're having a twin.
What does the... Yeah, really, because honestly, I only have one motorcycle that is even remotely capable of doing whatever the hell we did.
I essentially brought the perfect motorcycle. My KLR 650
That's true.
did it all.
That's true.
Oh, it was a good bike for that. I was.
Yeah, how many
Dan's bike
horsepower does
Dan's bike would have been better with different tires on it, maybe.
Right,
But
I mean, if it was really an adventure bike, you don't have a bigger front wheel. And the right tires.
would I have been just as happy on my Versus?
No.
Yeah, maybe with some TKC 80s, but no.
See, but I think
My
we
KLR
did
How many
so much
horsepower does your
more.
KLR have?
40 some.
I
Yeah.
thought we did so much more road. I was going to bring my Z900 so I could have fun on those twisties, man.
No.
I mean,
We would not have seen you the entire weekend.
Yeah, you need a handicap.
Yeah.
All right.
We would need to put you on like 3.5 inch tires.
And honestly, I would be a little bit worried about you. You might fucking
Yeah.
kill yourself.
Yeah. For sure.
Well,
I think the only thing saving your life was the fact that you had an SP250 that
Wooden tires.
that wouldn't go 100 mile an hour.
That was the only thing that
I
saved
know,
you.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's fun. But see, I want to try it with a real bike, though, man.
That was a real bike.
No, but like, a bike.
You're allowed to bring the Africa Twin. You're not allowed to bring the Z900.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
What if it's just
Now
for
he
one
doesn't want to
day?
go.
What if it's
You know what? You fucking do whatever the fuck
You know what?
want.
I don't need... You know
You
what?
do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But don't call me when you're down in the fucking middle of the fucking gully.
Well, who am I going to call?
Help me! I'm like, okay, call 911, bro, because I'm on a ride.
Honestly, I still think like a 250cc dual sport is probably...
I think it really realistically fucking 400 the supermoto the
like
Suzuki
a
400.
DRZ.
DR400.
DRZ 400.
Yeah.
That'd be the funnest shit ever there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you have all the lean angle,
Sure,
you have all the
sure.
shit. If you do have to hit a gravelly road, you're on a fucking dirt bike with street tires. It's still easy to ride. I would fucking, oh man, I want to get a DRZ just for the trip.
All right.
What am I gonna
We'll
sell?
see you
I have
there.
to sell something.
You
now.
wouldn't be the first idiot who bought a bike just for one fucking occasion.
Who's that?
No, you're not the
A
first
lot
one.
of other people.
A lot of other people.
I thought you meant like one of us. I was like, who?
No.
Who did that? Like, probably Hoff.
Realistically,
Bike for everything.
if we do, and we are gonna do something in sort of that general area, Pisgah, whatever. I'm gonna be on the Super Hawk.
Well, there was this facet of it. I'll just say this, that Mr. Smith did not feel comfortable riding with us. So
Right.
maybe if we dedicated ourselves to, you can bring one super bike and you have to bring one mini moto.
Wait,
For the
he
group
didn't
rides.
feel safe for when?
Well,
pretty much
he
a lot of
felt
the
a
time.
little bit outgunned on that Janus.
on the twisties.
Oh,
he
well, that's
was
because his bike was slow. I mean,
well,
Again,
Well,
there's a reason for it,
Yeah.
but it's legit.
yeah.
But, you know, he was riding the Janus and we were riding stuff that was faster than the Janus.
Right, but also, I mean, those are mountains. So, like even my 250 was struggling, and like that thing is not actually a 250. It's the
Anyway,
that's a 250.
it's a thought that maybe we
Yeah.
might want to, you know, if Mr. Smith was to come again, we'd have to reassure him.
I think
that
there's a
there'd
balance.
be a
wouldn't
day
he-
or two where we didn't fucking.
Well, also he has a V7 Stone, doesn't he? Or a fucking like
Yes, he does.
that would be a perfect bike there. I mean, you could still drive that down a road, and
So he'll need some coaching.
all right.
We'll have to work with him a little bit if he's.
I think
come
he'd
again.
enjoy himself on that bike. Like,
Hofford, you never know what you'll get with Hofford. He may or he may not come.
no, he wants to go to Spectre.
I hope he comes.
Yeah, you got to remember that Steve is a really nice guy and everything, but deep down he's sort of an introvert, and a lot of things.
Sure,
a lot of times you just have to understand he really does like to do things by himself.
Oh yeah, no, I got
For
that.
sure.
I feel it.
So that is what it is.
Yeah.
That's not going to change. But every once in a while he comes out of his shell. And
But I think, I mean, honestly, when we were talking, we could probably do both trips because he said Speculator in March, April, or May even.
Oh my God, is he competing with me?
Huh?
Is Steve competing with me
No,
for
he's trying to
like?
step on your trip.
Yeah, he's trying to make a
You're not
new.
going to do Speculator in April.
No, that's what I was saying. We were talking about doing. He's like, he goes, yeah, up here is just a mud pit. Like, it's not even a place you want to be during those months.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is sort of the same time frame, which is like the last weekend, the end of March, early April.
Yeah.
So like April Fool's time, but it's not a fool; it's an actual
Alright.
trip that happens. Going down to somewhere in the western side of North Carolina. There's lots of mountains. Dan has pointed out a lot of good areas in the other areas of the Pisgah National Forest that we haven't explored last year. That might be really good to check out this year. And I think
was just looking at the map for roads, and I feel like we just need to be away from the interstate highway.
Sure, yeah.
It is what it is. I'll do whatever you guys want. Let me know what my buy-in is. I'm in 100%.
Yeah, me too. I'm just not taking my SP250 because I don't think it's.
You can take whatever the fuck you want.
I think you should take your SP250, and you should also bring something else.
No, the SP250 is going to explode if I take it again.
You can take that SP250 and you can ride it right up your fucking...
It's smoking, man.
It will not explode.
That's your fault. Maybe you need to put a big bore kit or something on it.
I do know. And that's what it needs. It needs to fucking get least rings. If
the SP250 has the same engine as a lot of the Suzuki quads, the single quads, so you can put some higher lift cams in there if you want. But
probably the gear ratio would suck though from a quad.
Well, you can change that.
Well, I mean,
I don't want to talk about your SP250 right now.
Okay.
I almost bought an Okay. We were talking about this before the podcast.
Yeah.
And we were like, we'll save it till during the podcast.
Yeah, so you almost bought 12 SP250s.
12? No. Well, here's the thing. Is I am addicted to looking on Facebook Marketplace for motorcycles that I don't need because my 2-car garage is currently full of a bunch of motorcycles and a car that doesn't run. So...
You did pull some bolts out of that fucking car in that one picture.
We'll talk about that a little bit. I almost bought two, I think they had to have been 82 or 83 Suzuki SP200s. No, later than that. They would have been like 86, 87.
Mine's an 85.
So how much was the guy asking for them?
He was asking 500.
Okay.
So for 2 bikes, titles?
For 2 bikes. One title. 2 bikes.
2 bikes, one
title.
All in pieces.
What'd you offer him? 200?
I offered him 400.
What? $1 a cc?
$1 a cc.
200 times 2.
Yep. 400 bucks.
Yep.
That's more than reasonable. You're only.
I owned a Suzuki 200 SP200 before.
Yep.
It was beautiful. I bought it in pieces. I bought it for $1 a cc. $200.
You're beautiful.
In pieces. I picked it up in a pickup truck, and I put it together.
As you do.
And that was honestly probably the first bike that I rode to the podcast.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I'll tell you, you did get some street cred for driving all the way from Akron on an SP200.
SP200. Yeah.
Not once, but quite frequently, actually.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, damn,
and my bike was...
The boys got spunk.
My first bike was an SP250, an 82. Yours is an 83?
And Cinch was all over
85.
that.
85.
Cinch was all over that.
What?
Spunk.
Yeah.
So my first bike was an 82 SP250, which had the drum brake in the front. Yours has a disc brake, right?
Correct.
You pretty much should just give that to him for exactly what you paid for it.
I'm still waiting.
Dude, I put shock boots on it.
Oh, it still squeaks.
I put a front tire and a back tire on it.
So you can add $200 to your price and still give it to him.
I cleaned every surface of that bike and licked it.
Don't give me that shit.
I'll give you $1,000.
Oh, no way.
Whoa. That's way too much for that punk. It's a piece of shit. It's blown.
Here's the thing.
I'll get 25. I'll put it for 3.
I don't want it anymore. I don't want it anymore.
Next year at Mid-Ohio all day.
We'll see. I had an SP200.
I'll bet you right now $200 that you can't get $2,500 for it.
No, because
I guarantee he can't get $2,500 for it.
You'll see.
That's bullshit. No, I had an SP200. It was an 80.
Not $200.
Put your money where your mouth is.
No, I'm not stupid.
I think mine was an 86. I had an SP200, and I rode it to Mid-Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Sold it.
And I sold it at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, with no way home. I remember
with no way home. Yeah, Phil gave me a ride to the front gate, and my girlfriend picked me up. Honestly, that was a wonderful bike. It was every bit as fast as his SP250.
Well, mine is anything but fast. It is the slowest fucking bike in the history.
Well, he doesn't do anything to him. He gets him for dirt cheap.
Well, I guess it does go 70.
He beats the piss out of him.
Well, yeah, but an SP200...
Did you clean the carburetor?
Huh?
Did you clean the carburetor?
Before we went on the trip, yes. Since then, no.
You cleaned the carburetor, though.
jeez.
Yes, I took it out.
Did you do it right?
I don't know. I took the fucking jet out the bottom, sprayed the holes, put it back in,
Here's the thing.
cleaned the float bowl, did little things like that.
Here's the
I don't know
thing.
if I gave it to John. I didn't put my dick through the small
An
hole.
SP250 is a single-cylinder dual sport that has 4 valves per cylinder, right?
As far as you know.
It will do 75 miles per hour
I don't think mine did.
if you really, really, really try.
So what's the difference of your 200 to
An
my
SP200
Yeah.
has 50 less CC.
Right, but is there any other, like, is it different cam situation or nothing?
Well, it's all different.
It's 2 valves per cylinder, though, isn't it? Or is it a 4 valve?
It's 4 valve.
Oh, good.
It's same as the 250.
So mine
four
was-
valve
well,
engine.
Maybe I could get 75. I don't know. It was shaking so bad.
It'll do 75, I guarantee it.
All right.
The SP200 with 50 less CC will do the exact same speed.
Yeah, I'm sure. They probably geared it. To,
I mean, you know, it probably doesn't really matter much. 50 cc's.
It doesn't.
I mean, it also depends on compression rate. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be a 200
Well,
at 10 to 1.
If you think about it,
and the 250 could be at 9 to 1.
if you think
and so
about
there you go.
the 250 engine was developed in probably the late 70s, early 80s.
Or it might even have the same bottom. It might even be the same motor.
It
just
might be.
bored
It
out.
might be.
Yeah, you're right.
But I don't know. I'm not an SP 200 or 250 specialist. I am a
You know
Honda
what?
whisperer.
I don't know if anybody is.
You are, obviously.
I don't know why I like the Suzuki SPs so much.
A couple weeks last week, I was putting gas in all my bikes. You know, like 100% gas for the winter. And I was starting them all. So I put SP. I put 100% gas in it.
Yeah.
Kicking it. It won't start. I'm kicking it. And like I'm hearing at one point after kicking it like 20 times, I'm hearing like, I'm like, what the fuck is this noise? So I kick it one more time and it goes, poof, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I had put one of those stupid like plug your exhaust plugs in. Oh no!
You put a butt plug in your bike?
I don't know where it came from. It's always just been laying around the garage.
I don't
So
know where it
finally
came
shoved
from.
it in there.
You butt plugged your SP.
Oh,
I did. I came with the fucking SP anal sex.
oh my god.
But then as soon as it popped out, it started.
Perfect with that.
sure it would.
If it had just bounced off the wall and shot up your ass, that would have been perfect.
That was funny as shit.
Long story short, I almost bought 2 Suzuki SP200s. The listing was for $500. I offered $400. He was like, no. And I was like,
Go fuck your hat.
well, yeah, honestly, go fuck your... Well, I offered $450.
And then you said
And-
cut it in half.
Well,
Let's
meet
meet in the middle. Let's
Right, let's meet in the
middle.
middle, $450. And
No,
he
because
said,
then you told us that he said originally, he's like, no, I was really hoping to get 5.
yes, I offered $400. He said, I was really hoping to get $500, which was what his asking
I will
price
do
was.
I do that pretty hard though. I'm okay with
Do you do that?
the stiff upper lip. I'm like, I'm asking 5.
Well, you know what?
You know what I say? I'm like, I'm asking 5. I just listed it today.
You know what?
I'm not really,
I do that a lot too with what I sell. Is people honestly tend to say stuff like, "What's your bottom dollar?" or like,
I don't even answer those
What's your
guys.
lowest price? I say, "You know my price. What's your offer?"
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it.
Which honestly they typically don't answer. But honestly, he said, "I'd really rather 500," and I was like, "Fuck you." At that point, I knew I wasn't buying it, so I was like, just would you consider meeting me in the middle at $450?
Which is completely fair at that point.
That's fair. And keep in mind, this is 2 SP200s. These aren't exactly
Yeah, they're not hot.
in
right.
pieces.
right
In
in pieces.
pieces.
In pieces. They are not running motorcycles. One has a title, the other does not.
All right.
And he said, "Well, you know what? I'd do $460 to cover the cost of notarizing the title." Which at that point, I was like, "Fuck this guy." And you could ask Amber. I was like, "Fuck this guy." I don't give a shit. I visibly opened the garage door really hard. And I was like, "Fuck fuck this guy.
I just like how he's so like, dude. It was like he showered. You audibly were like, I heard sour come out of you. Like he was like him. Like when he heard the guy said 360 or 460, whatever the fuck it was, right?
Yeah.
Like he was just like. Like,
The listeners,
like,
the
fuck
listeners
this guy.
can fully interpret the emotion, the passion of the current situation from the audible
gestation.
Where you go with a guy like that, I mean, when you get in that type of situation, you just be like, well, I'm at 400, call me.
Yeah. Nobody else buys them. You want to sell them?
Well, here's the thing. That's what I said, and this guy broke. This guy was like, well, I said, I was polite. I said,
Dude, I don't think it's physically possible for you not to be polite. Like you're Nick, the polite kid, so you can't not be.
I was, what did I say? I said, that's more than I wanted to spend. I wanted to spend 400, and so you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. Something like that. That's what I said.
Which is all like kind of professional, kind of like
for sure,
friendly,
for sure. But this guy broke. This guy went on a tantrum, like, oh, I don't have time for this motorcycle. I bought it as a project. I don't have time to even work on this thing. You can just have it.
Thank you. I'll be by to pick it up tomorrow.
Right.
John,
What's your address?
John's always that shark, just going like
Here's
this.
the thing. John, you're great at that sort of thing. I look at that and I'm like, ugh. This guy's gonna stab me.
You were the guy in high school that every day you'd be like, "Hey, babe, wanna go out with me? No. Hey, babe, wanna go out with me? No. Hey, babe, wanna go out with me? God, if I say yes, would you just go away? Yes. So what would be going on?
Right.
You said yes.
Well, here's the thing. Is for me,
It would not be out of the realm of my possibility. If that happened and he gave me an address, I would show up.
I know you would.
I know.
I'm here to get the bike.
Here's the thing. I would be very concerned. I would be concerned. I might show up, but
Oh, he's puking! He's puking!
I'm not puking.
More Christmas ale! Let him rip into the plate. Give him another Christmas ale.
I would show
More
up.
bourbon.
No.
Get him a bourbon.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I need a bourbon. This looks fun. I want to puke too.
Alright.
Well, we got a rule about puking.
Like, hold up here, guys.
Hold on, Buckshot.
I never agreed to the puke scenario when we decided to do this.
Can I try the David Nicholson 1843?
That's what it's for.
I've got a little water in here. This would be nice. I'll let it
Jesus
open up.
Christ.
Oh, man.
For the record,
You did not just puke.
there was no puke involved.
That was a spit up burp.
That was a burp.
That was a barf. A barp. You barped.
He basically sharted out your mouth, dude.
I need to watch that down.
There needs to be a term for the opposite of sharp.
You barped.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Okay. Maybe this podcast should come to an end.
Where was I at?
Oh, I think
Is this still a podcast?
Good.
Are you still recording? Oh, shit. We got these two bozos down here that are fucking horking on the douche flutes. These guys are probably baked fucking beans times fucking two. And we got the boy here just trying to hold it together, telling him about his SP.
I'm just telling a story about my beloved Suzuki SP.
Oh, Jesus.
Anybody else got a different subject? What do you want to talk about? What would be the perfect... Okay, so you said
Wait,
the
no, I'm not done with my story.
Oh, jeez.
My dude.
I already thought
What the fuck?
Okay, finish her up.
Just because I barf a little bit
Just
doesn't
'cause
mean
you
I'm done
barf.
with the story.
Dude, you know what happened, dude?
What?
You winked at the ugly girl. Now look what you have to deal with.
Now you're making me sick.
This is a piece of wood that John brought. What is this?
I just brought it because I think it's mulberry.
It's mulberry.
I'm going to say it's hickory.
No, he's
Well,
gonna
it's
say
very yellow.
Do it. Lick it.
Dan licked
I don't
it.
know.
He's chewing on it.
Nobody else has licked it.
He's brushing his teeth with it.
Was it boat aged? It might be better. Oh no.
I don't know. Long story short,
Short story long.
I didn't buy.
You didn't buy the fucking bike.
I didn't buy this bike.
You got slivers in your tongue, don't you?
We'll see if no, it's right here. We'll see if the SP200s are still there when I get home, but I don't know.
I mean, since we got you here, we could just pick your brain.
Yeah.
We know you got the Bentley running.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. The Bentley is the oldest motorcycle I have ever owned. And it's the only motorcycle that I've ever owned that I can walk up to it, flip the key into the run position, and press a start button, and it starts.
Electric.
Yes. Not even my Super Hawk will do that. Which freaking kills me that my Super Hawk won't do that. But the Bentley does.
Mm-hmm.
So have you decided on the skin of the Bentley at some point? Are you gonna de-salmon it?
The salmon
Yes,
colored
that's
Bentley.
right. That's a good point.
Does it need paint, or is it going to stay there?
I think originally it was white,
Mm-hmm.
and now it is like a metallic red.
Is there a way to find out? Yeah, that's called salmon, dude. Is there a way to find out from the VIN number what the original? There has to be, right? Like to find out
What the original color was?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's
Maybe.
just scraping some paint off.
Yeah, I know. With my Alpha.
Look up under the fenders or something stupid.
With my Alpha, which we might get into in a little
As
bit.
in Alfa Romeo.
Alfa Romeo, Italian sports car
That you fragged.
Yeah. Basically,
Talking about ripping into
they
things.
have a. We'll get there. They have a Fiat Chrysler America, whatever the fuck they are now, Stellantis, whatever the fuck. They have a historic service where you can type in your VIN number and they'll give you some sort of certificate for what original color it was or what what the original specs were for whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that's cool.
For whatever your old Ferrari or Alfa Romeo or whatever the fuck.
Well, that's the thing. Some of these car companies, motorcycle companies, they need to realize that, like, if you start a culture and you have all these people excited about it, you should have information about the past really available to people.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Well, especially considering the fact that a lot of the old stuff.
That's nice, Dan. The David Nicholson.
Yeah. Another high proof, 100 proof. Buy
It
whiskey,
doesn't-
not water.
But it doesn't taste like that. But I actually had some water in my glass, so it wasn't too bad. So maybe that's why it's a little less bitey. But whatever. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you, Nick?
No,
You
not
were
at all.
talking Alfa Romeos, VIN numbers, and
A lot of the old stuff, like old Alfa Romeos, old Ferraris.
let's shut up for a second and let's just drill right down to the moment when the cam chain snapped on.
Oh no!
I want you to.
No.
I want to feel the feeling that you had. I want to feel it. So I want you to describe in detail the moment. Now, I don't think you actually realized it. I want the moment you realized it, when you actually took the motor apart and you were holding a cam chain that was no longer together. Okay, go.
I have a photo that we can post in the whatever the fuck show notes or whatever the fuck happens with the podcasting thing of me holding a broken cam chain. But I was just about to say how.
You know what's even better?
What?
The photo of your motor sitting beside your car.
Yeah, that was
That's
interesting.
even better. I like that one. So where the fuck do you even find parts for a 19 Diggity Alfa Romeo?
I liked your dad or somebody posted, "Don't fuck it up" or something like that underneath.
No, you should post back, Dad, we shouldn't use that Harbor Freight fucking...
Honestly, you know what? For anybody, how many podcast listeners do you think owns a 1960 something to 1994 Alfa Romeo twin cam 4-cylinder engine? How many podcasters?
Maybe some. Maybe one.
Maybe
we
two?
have some we have Scandinavian liver, and that's Italian though. So we need somebody out of Italia or Europe. There's European people anywhere in Europe that could be.
I bet you Haley in England knows somebody that has one.
Maybe. Yeah. Do not when you're reassembling an engine. Do not. Here's the thing: when you're reassembling an engine, you do everything right to reassemble this engine so that it will not explode.
I think that's generally what the goal most people have.
Until you get to the very top end and you realize that the Alfa Romeos have this cam that's with a sprocket that is totally adjustable, that is only held in place with a single bolt that times the engine. Yeah,
so that's called valve timing.
Yes.
It's a thing.
Yes.
And people actually, like on race bikes, big on the CB160 forums and stuff, where they would take and slot out their cam sprocket
But here's
holes
the thing with the old,
so they could adjust it.
With the Alfa Romeos, it's a dual overhead cam engine, and the camshafts actually have sort of, how a vernier caliper has, when you measure it to whatever you're measuring, and you look at the lines to see what lines up, to see where it is, see very specific measurements.
I was smelling what you're stepping in.
The Alfa Romeo twin cam engines have adjustable valve timing in that the sprockets have maybe 20 holes in them. The cams have maybe 19 holes in them. So you can line them up and get to within a percentage.
It does have to be like a degree, so it's weird. So it's got to be weird. You have the thing, so depending on what hole you put the bolt in. So you have 19, you have 20 holes in the sprocket.
Yes.
You have 19 holes in the cam. Depending on what bolt hole you put the thing in would be a degree one way or the other, Right. So
it's within a fraction of a degree.
Let's just call it a friction.
A friction, yes. It's within a friction
stupid.
of degree. And in my case, the bolt fell out of the cam.
Oh, is that ultimately that's epidemiology of your catastrophic failure?
Basically, a Harbor Freight split
This is
pin.
a frictionalized account.
Yes.
A frictionalized.
A Harbor Freight split pin in the castle nut of the bolt.
Castell
Fell out.
Or the fuck is a split pin? Is that a cotter pin?
Yeah, it's a cotter pin.
Don't be using this newfangled shit. It's a cotter pin.
Is it a cotter pin?
No, a split pin and a cotter pin are two different things.
What's a split pin?
Okay.
Well, a split roll pin. Is it a roll pin?
No, not a roll pin. No.
Oh, so a split pin is you push it through and you bend the ends?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cotter pin.
Oh, it's a cotter pin. Okay, it's a cotter pin.
The Harbor definitely should not have used a Harbor Freight cotter pin.
The Harbor Freight cotter pin that my dad and I
made out of
bread ties. They're the same material.
3 years ago when we rebuilt this engine. When we rebuilt this engine, we used a Harbor Freight cotter pin. And it didn't hold up. You'd
have been better off with some good stainless steel safety wire or something.
You know what?
Or a nail.
Are you fucking stupid?
Well, maybe. But that's where we're at.
I can say without a doubt and unequivocally that you are not fucking stupid.
What were we talking about?
You often impress me as being, a young man that's ahead of his time.
John, I appreciate that.
Stop grooming the child.
And if you'd like to come with me,
John,
I have something out in my car I want to show you. I've got your Christmas present. Come on, boy.
All right, well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Nice.
John, I appreciate that.
Nick.
But I currently do not have any running motorcycles in my garage. And no running.
So we're still trying to go through the rundown. I'm just trying to catch up on all.
No! I have a Vespa that runs
on all your bullshit.
Yeah.
You rebuilt the Vespa, so it's almost ready for Air Scramble Part 2.
It works. Yeah. That I know of.
You sold the CT110.
CT110 is sold. Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
What happened with that little SSR that you were fucking with?
Hey, all the podcast listeners that we need to catch people up. I bought a CT110.
Say bought louder.
I bought a CT110.
Wow.
Does that help you, Sleepy?
I mean, I don't have headphones in anymore. I just fucking gave that up a while ago.
And I sold a CT110.
Let's not do that anymore.
Okay. And I had I bought it was a 110, an SSR 110.
Yeah.
And I got it running. And,
That was destined for a nephew or something like that.
Well,
right?
yeah, I was going to sell it because I could get like, what, $300, $400 out of it?
Well, if you're
running
sleepy, you can get
SSR?
$2,500 for it. But go ahead.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. No, so I was kind of debating that for a while, and I was like, you know what? But yeah, you're right. I have a brother-in-law who's significantly younger than I, who would absolutely love a 110cc dirt bike.
All right.
And so I gave it to him, and well, for as far as I know, he hasn't ridden it at all. So
A little dickweed.
yeah.
Well, you'll get it back. That's one of those things.
We'll see.
Hey, you ain't gonna ride that fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's why I had to take mine
it-
out to Sleepy's and kept riding it in the neighborhood.
Just-
My neighbors all hate me.
Yeah.
Just so you know, your SSR is living. I do ride it every once in a while.
Nice.
My red one is stuck at Cinch's house with spikes on the tires.
Mm-hmm.
But I've used yours to try to break some trails out at the compound. And been doing, I got one nice little hill climb that's pretty fun. You get like up to the top and just stay on it and ride a little wheelie. Woohoo! Shoot, it's pretty fun. Tomorrow, only working a half day.
Yeah.
So if you showed up at the compound, we'd either go snow machine riding or SSR riding or quad riding or something.
It's gonna be 1.
What's that?
It's gonna be 1 degree.
What are you, fucking...
It's not about the degrees, it's about the wind.
What are you, fucking puss?
Yeah, at 1 degree I am.
Well, it helped you put a wood burner in your garage. I think we could
Oh, you could sneak around in there. Yeah.
we could take a lap around the yard on the snow machine.
Yeah, if there's some snow, that sounds
I
fun.
need a lot more dew out of you, and not. I'm not.
Yeah. Cinchapalooza is never gonna happen.
I feel like, you know what? What happened with I don't want the lame dick fucking
The who?
attitude.
This is not lame dick attitude. I'm just enjoying everything.
Anywho, so
It's gonna get cold in the
We
next
know this. We're Clevelanders. We don't
6
give a-
hours.
We don't give a fuck.
I don't
about the
know this
cold.
anymore, but yeah, it's gonna get cold.
I'm telling you, if we get the snow, that's the most important part. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Is that the best part, or is that the worst part?
That's the best part. The
Okay.
worst part is the cold.
Okay.
I love the snow. I don't like the cold.
You got 2-stroke lined up?
I got 2-stroke. I got gas. I got everything. We're good to go.
I'm making sure.
If here's the thing, if the conditions are right, let me know, and I will try everything I can to be there.
Hey, I just realized snowmobiles get shitty gas mileage, man.
No shit.
They must, yeah.
You think if you're putting out fucking 88 horsepower from a 500cc motor, you're going to get gas mileage?
In a track.
No, but it was just I didn't
And you're
realize.
turning a track, not a wheel,
No, but I
through
just-
snow?
Like they have what, like 8-gallon fuel tanks, and they're good for like
15. Well, not 15. Yes, but about an 8-gallon fuel tank, and it's
they're-
good for about an hour.
like 80 miles or
Like
something.
when we were riding it around, I was putting in 5 gallons, and we'd ride it, and I was like, I need another 5 gallons.
Oh my god, man! I had no idea. So that's what, like, when them dudes are out in the middle of the fucking Rockies and shit, they must have fucking camel packs and all kinds of stuff, right? Like,
Well, if you fill your tank up and you have an oil injector, you're probably pretty good for half a day or something like that. No, and I like I said, I put 5 gallons in it, and it was enough for us to ride the shit out of it for a while.
yeah. All right. Yeah, that's cool.
What about that NSU Wankel that is on Facebook?
I mean, I'm a kind of little fan of small rotary engines. I've been looking for a rotary lawnmower engine. Mm-hmm. There was a Wankel engine that was in a mower. Mm-hmm.
Lawn Boy, right?
Or
was it something else?
I remember it was black. I remember. I need to look more into it. I actually called my high school to see if they were still around because I was going to offer to take them off their hands, but they said long ago that stuff they'd
You
done
want me
away
to
with.
text my friend who's a specialist in lawnmowers?
If he has a Wankel powered lawnmower, I'm
Probably
kind
too
of.
late
Check
to
the
text
time.
him
Yeah, I was
up.
about to say, like,
But
dude.
it would have to probably be in pieces because I'm not really willing to pay much money for it. But if they had,
He can at least tell you who made them.
because it was sort of a point of pride with me when I took Power Tech in high school. We had there was like 4 of them in bins, and everybody had to try to build one. There was 4 teams or whatever. Well, I was my own team, and I built one, and I was the only one to get it running in 12 years. Nobody had ever had one running.
Wow.
So I went through all 4 bins. I'm like, you guys aren't going to build this. No, nobody had any interest in actually trying to build it. So I went through every bin. I used my chronometer and checked got all the best seals, all the best springs, apex seals, all the seals, build a rotor, put it in, put it together, had to basically rewind the magneto and solder and get because none of them could get spark. I got spark, and my teacher was like, I'll kiss your ass. There's no way you're gonna get that thing started and everything. And I was like, boop 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 boop. And he was like, what? So there it sat, and it ran perfectly. And he was just like, one of these hasn't ran in 12 years. You're the only person to ever get one running.
Did you keep it?
Well, I couldn't. I was in high school, and it was, he's like, that one's never getting torn apart. Because I've never been able to show anybody what it sounds.
That's the model.
This is the one. This is the keeper now.
Yeah.
That actually runs, and I can actually fire it up, and we can see what they sound like and how they run. So I assume for at least a few years after that that was the one that they never tore apart again. But it's just one of those things. If I could get one of those, it would tickle me to mow my yard with a rotary cutter.
Right. I found it.
What did it sound like? It was like,
what did it sound like? Do an impression.
It was just a drone. It was just a constant like, wow. Like not even it wasn't the 2-stroke. It was just wow.
I used to love that about the Lawn Boys, that 2-stroke
with the automatic governor or whatever.
In keeping with my generator collection, I just bought another generator. And it's one of those 2-stroke Harbor Freight ones that, I got off brand new in the box, $50. Sure, I'll take that, And and I kind of wanted one because Bruce had one, and it's the 2-stroke 63cc 900 watt little generator, and you fill it up, and it's 2-stroke, and start it up, and it just sits there, and it goes
nice and quiet,
It's not too ridiculously loud. If it's outside and you're inside, you don't hear it. And so it's kind of cool.
That's all right. What can that run? 900 watts.
Just about any kind of power tool. I mean, the 800 watts running. So
okay.
I mean, I put a die grinder on it and stuff like that. A light, a 500 watt little space heater. What do you want to run? What do you want to run with? A fan.
Huh.
One thing. It has one plug. And there's a reason why it has one plug, because you can run pretty much any one thing with this little generator.
No, not an air conditioner.
No, probably not.
Probably not an air conditioner, but probably a small refrigerator or even a real refrigerator.
Because there's not an air conditioner that's under 1,200 watts usually, right?
Your furnace in your house is about 600 watts, so in an emergency situation, you could probably run just the furnace in your house and maybe charge your phone.
Oh, did I tell you? I think I told you. So my water furnace that I have.
Yeah. So don't you have geothermal?
Yeah. So it's called a water furnace. So like
it pumps water down in the ground.
Yeah.
Heats up.
Or cools down.
Wow.
And then it comes back in. I didn't put it in. It came with the house and stuff. And it's supposed to be this awesome. They were showing us their electric bills, and it was like $190 a month. And I was like, sweet, Our electric bill of the last 2 months was $790. And I was like, I was shitting my pants. And then I was like, then I thought me and John fucked up when we were doing the thing. We're feeding electricity into dirt, And nope, it's the water furnace. So basically, I remember when it was on last year, and I was downstairs because I was gonna try to build like a room down in the basement for myself, like my computer room or something. And I'm like, that fucking furnace is too loud. It's like, right? Then I was down there a while ago, and it's just, I didn't realize it, but it's been kind of quiet, But we have heat. And I was like, oh, sweet, we have heat, whatever. Didn't think anything of it. Well, after doing some research, we got one of those on sale on Black Friday, those things that you clamp on your power.
Yeah.
I finally put it on there, and it was like instantly, it was like your furnace. And I'm like, fuck.
Amp clamp.
Nope. So basically, the furnace has any kind of geothermal thing. If it was going to be negative two for like a week or two, the cold could go down low enough where it could at least impact the geothermal coils enough that you really wouldn't get enough heat out of them to really heat your house. So it has an electric coil backup heater. But what happens when the geothermal part shut down for 2 months? You're running on a giant electric coil heater. So I was having I went to CVS and bought the world's largest fucking under desk heater and was heating my entire house with it for a month and a half.
Which was probably still cheaper than that.
Yeah.
They actually say space heaters are incredibly effective because you put them in the room where you are and they don't really use that much juice. And
Right.
Well, if you think about it, electrically, they turn electricity into heat. And that's about it. They don't do anything else. So,
Right.
fairly efficient.
Yeah. But it was nice to find out that the thing wasn't completely crap because they're not cheap.
so what do you need to do? Fill it back up with water?
No, that didn't leak out or anything. So basically, what had happened was, the last guy when they did the inspection or something like that, he said, I didn't even know the thing had a filter because it's weird. It doesn't have like a visible filter, right? It's not like one of those things you just push in and you go to Home Depot and get.
3M.
Yeah, and whatever. And but apparently, when he got there, the filter was really dirty and it kicked over a switch. And so apparently to him, the switch was going to kick back on later on. Well, it never did. So then this guy came today, Tuesday, recognized that the switch was bad. He goes, it probably had never been kicked over for 20 years. When it finally kicked over, it got stuck and it was off. Because of that, it just shut the whole geothermal part down. It was just running on the fucking electric shit, just charging my ass.
Do you think now that you have that fixed, you'll be able to have Cinchapalooza?
Yes. Yes, we're doing Cinchapalooza. I like it.
Okay, good. Good to know.
Yeah.
We just need a date.
Yeah, we gotta figure that out.
So what do you think, guys? On that note?
Yeah. I think Nick has drinking to do, it looks like.
I've got some smoking to do.
All right.
But anyway, Merry Christmas to all of our podcast listeners out there. Maybe some of you will get lucky and get this. I don't know if it'll happen before Christmas.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
But on that note,
this one's never going to see the light of day.
There's some throw up that needs to be edited out.
I can't.
that's like that's going to be replayed, and that's going to be the beginning, the middle, and the end.
I'm getting back into VFX. You're going to look like fucking
The
like
cacac.
Exorcist.
We want the cacac.
You drink all those?
He did.
I don't know.
Your five Christmas sales in, brother.
It's like 8 or 9%.
And
alcohol.
whatever the fuck this is.
The Willits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Willits.
John's grooming is really hitting hard. On that note,